7.3 The Fan. Sometimes they tell some pretty hefty fish stories. We don't know if they're true or not.
And now, it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, Corey Sandin, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup, and Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, and Corey Sandin.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. I'm Pete Gray with Rock Cod Rick Maxa. We're in the world headquarters of Let's Talk Hookup here, right next to the San Diego landings, right here in Point Loma. We have a couple of great guests here. We have fantastic people from Promar here, Brian Sanchez and Captain Pablo Fernandez from Fernandez Charters. And we're going to be talking Promar and mostly lobsters today. Yes, lobster season is almost here. So you stay tuned. This is Southern California Sport Fishing Voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, Facebook Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
The reels that Southern California anglers have been waiting for are here. Shimano is proud to introduce the all-new Talica 40A and 50A reels. The Talica series is Shimano's flagship 2-speed lever drag reel. It sits at the very pinnacle of the offshore world. Shimano has increased the fishability of the larger Talica models by reducing rotational resistance at high drag and improving durability in critical positions within the reel. The all-new Talica 40A and 50A now boast Infinity Drive, which employs 2 drag washers housed on the side of the reel, allowing for an ultra-smooth, powerful drag system, while at the same time increasing winding power under a load by as much as 40%. The new Talica is built around a more compact, cold-forged machine aluminum one-piece frame. Plus, there's also a new higher high gear, built with a Southern California angler in mind. The new Talica 40 and 50A are available now at your local Shimano dealer.
Introducing new Power Pro Max 8 microfilament braided fishing line. It's built for offshore anglers seeking smooth casting and control. Power Pro Max 8 features an 8-carrier Spectra HT construction that cuts through current with ease for precise vertical jigging with a 25% thinner diameter. Available in white and metered 4-color for trolling spread control and precise jigging depths. It's stronger, smoother, and thinner. Power Pro Max 8 is now available at your tackle retailer.
Take a closer look at the Ford Bronco and Bronco Sport. You'll see adventure, discovery, and even a little mud. These 4x4s provide the muscle, tech, and durability to go anywhere. Get your ideal combination of power and capability to handle whatever comes your way with the GOAT modes. That's goes over any terrain. It's time to see Ford in a new light. New inventory has arrived. Visit your San Diego County Ford dealer to take a test drive today. They'll be glad to hook you up.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. I can't believe how quickly it's coming, and it's time to talk about lobsters. And boy, what a group of group of pros you put together for us today. Today's gonna be a great show, man.
Yeah. Good morning, gentlemen.
What's up, boys?
Great to have you guys. Brian and Pablo's a return guest. Good morning. Great to have you back, Pablo, and welcome, Brian. Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Super to have you guys. So it's kind of an exciting time around the Promar Ahi world, right?
Yeah, this is at least for me, it's the most exciting time of the year when it comes to lobster season. I love it. I get to go out on the boats a lot more. It's one of the busiest times of year for us, and with the season coming up on the 26th, like we're just trying to get everything dialed in and every seminar and an event, ready for all of you guys. So
yeah, fantastic. And you're a man about town, according to Wayne, man. You get around and see a lot of, you do a lot of events and you participate in a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And I have, even today we have multiple events to do. So I have to stop by Bass Pro Shops Irvine after to go to the Bass Pro. It's the first seminar that we're putting together for lobster, and it's going to be with the Your Saltwater Guide people. So it's going to be
Great.
Dave Hansen.
Pablo's
going to be there, and Justin Buttrell. So it's going to be super fun. 3 events this weekend, and we're only planning to do a lot more. We have another seminar coming up as well at Turner's in Lake Forest. and that's going to be for lobster as well. So lobster season is here
Yeah.
pretty much, and we're trying to just get everything out there as much as we can.
And so today at Bass Pro in Irvine,
Correct. Yeah, and that's going to be from
with Dave and Pablo.
Yeah, Dave,
12 to
Pablo, and Justin.
Okay.
And that's going to be from 12 to 2.
12 to 2.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then and then when is the one at Turner's in Fountain Valley?
So that's going to be Lake
Forest.
Yeah, Lake Forest Turner's, and that's going to be Wednesday the 17th, and it's going to be from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah. So those are the first 2 seminars, but if you guys go on our website, promarahi.com, and look at the events page, we already have the first 10 events listed. So as soon as we get more, we're going to keep listing them on there, but we're trying to cram in as much. That's one of our goals this year, is to get as many seminars and as many events possible to be with the community as much as we can, and support them.
And Pablo, what can one learn about lobster fishing from one of your seminars?
Oh, well, hopefully at least one thing. I mean, I don't have a whole lot of great information to give out to everybody. No secrets or anything. But
no secrets?
No secrets.
Come on, man.
You know why? Because I share everything, and I probably shouldn't share everything, but the one thing that we do try to teach people in the seminars is just to go out and have a good time.
Yeah.
Make sure
that's what lobster fishing is all about. It's just fun.
Yeah.
Right. It's fun. And if you get too crazy, just like anything else, the fun starts drifting away.
Yeah.
So just go out and have fun. And that what makes it fun? Well, having the right equipment, make sure you got your Promar Ahi hoop nets and everything's set up properly. Make sure you know the regulations. Make sure everybody on the boat knows the regulations if they're going out on your vessel. And just make sure that you're doing the right thing, because sometimes, just like fishing, it's a lot like hunting, correct? Like you go out there, you're doing everything correctly, and eventually it pays off.
Yeah.
It might not be the first night or the second night, but guess what? If you're doing the right thing, you're going to get more and more consistent. As the years go by, you're going to be just whacking them. And that's what we try to do out. We try to get people to just go out, have fun, get a ton of lobster, and that's it. Enjoy themselves.
Yeah. Legal is really important, right?
Legal is.
Yeah. In fact, next Saturday, Eric Cord and Craig Schumann will be on the show next Saturday talking about it. He called me. Eric reached out to me. He's a deputy chief enforcement for California Fish and Wildlife. And he reached out to me, and that's how important it is to the California Fish and Wildlife people to get the word out about enforcement. It's really important. And they enforce lobster like nothing else.
Very proud of their lobsters.
Yeah.
And it's easy. It's easy for them to enforce, right? Because they're out there. They see you out there. Right. You're not really running away when you have all your hoop nets spread out, or you're pulling one. You're not going anywhere. They're going to come over. Make sure everybody has the proper stuff. Make sure that all the lobsters that you have in your vessel measure that, 3 3.25 size on the carapace, and that's the body of the lobster, between the eye socket and where the tail starts. You just put your gauge right there. And I see a lot of things that people are like, oh, this one's legal, look. And it's like, if it's a question, guys,
if it's a question, there is no question.
There's no question.
Because it's a big fine.
It's not a nice fine.
Yeah.
And you will remember it. And then you're on their radar. And then they're going to be like, oh, look, here comes Pablo, the guy that gets short lobsters all the time. Do you think they're going to pass me by that night? No, they're going to come say hi to Pablo, because they're going to be like, oh, Pablo gets all the shorties, so let's give him some more money for the state.
Yeah. Where's your zone, Pablo? Where do you usually fish?
So I fish out of Mission Bay, and my zone would basically be, I come down to your harbor once in a while.
To San Diego Harbor.
But typically I stay in Mission Bay or thereabouts, like anywhere between La Jolla, Point Loma. If I'm going out there, I have a lot of different zones and a lot of different areas, but Mission Bay itself is very good. It's very fruitful. And if you just know where to go and how to do it, that's all you need.
That's key.
That's awesome.
And that's what we're going to share today when we're up at Bass Pro Shop, is basic techniques. Here's the equipment. This is how you do it. Just follow these steps. And bait, as you guys know, this year, bait is super important. So we're going to be talking about all that stuff. And Captain Dave Hansen's going to be there. Captain Justin Botrell, myself, and our buddy Renee and Brian, we're all going to be there presenting and doing some great raffles and giveaways, but mostly reaching out to the people and making sure that they have a great season. looking for bugs.
Is there like a hierarchy of what's more important when you're fishing? I mean, is where you put the hoop net a number one? Is bait a number one? Is the type of equipment, you know what I mean? Or is it just not that way where it really is a blend of doing all the things right?
It's actually yes, and yes,
Right.
because bait is super important. We preach, if you will, fresh bait is the best. We like to keep the bait barges, working. So we encourage everybody to go there. We got to support these guys and get their bait, not only to support them and keep the industry flowing, but live bait is the best because lobsters go a lot by vibration. Yeah, they go by scent and everything else. They have a lot of senses under there, right? But they can detect the electronical impulses or electric impulses that come out of like dying or freshly killed bait because they're emitting energy.
So do you actually put live bait inside your cages?
We do. But we encourage the bait by gently chopping them into smaller pieces.
Yeah.
So, you don't want to just put all live bait and not do anything. So we cut them up a little bit. So we have different devices and things that we use to actually make the bait, like we kind of chunk it up a little bit, like some.
But there's actually some live ones in there.
You leave a couple stragglers.
Do you? Okay.
It's not like a fully dead one, but something, when you're chopping up the bait sometimes.
But even the freshly killed bait like that is going to emit those
that's a
electric
good
signals.
point. Yes.
And then it's like biological death and cellular death. It's like while the fish are dying, they're still, twitching and emitting impulses. And then that's what the lobsters, they detect that and the scent, and they just crawl right into our Promar hoop nets with the seal-proof bait cages, and that's it.
What a game changer that was. Of all of the things that Promar has really done the innovate. I mean, you think about all the things, the conical hoop nets and the different bait, the evolution of all the different ways we stored bait. Originally the bait pocket was like the coolest design ever. And then the sea lions, became so tough. And then then the cage, and then the seal-proof container has been the thing for years and years now. I mean, like that is, they call it seal-proof. Boy, it is, man. I mean, they've had a lot of years to try to figure that thing out, and it still reigns as like the thing to keep those critters out of there.
I'm kind of a stickler about one thing though. They're sea lions, not seals.
Yeah, right.
They're two different animals.
California sea lions.
They should call them the seal lion proof bait cages. The seals.
Well, they're harbor seal proof also. Yeah, that's what they're talking
They're seal proof too, but they're sea lion proof because those are the problem ones.
Yeah.
Promar always improves on things too. That's the thing.
Yeah,
totally.
And they improved those bait cages last year, and I really like the new design.
Yeah, I mean,
tell us about that.
We made a big update on them, right? So one of the things before, obviously, the first design when we initially released them, they didn't have that twist lock design.
Yep.
And then on the newer versions for the white ones, we ended up adding that twist lock. We improved on that on the blue ones, which are deluxe seal-proof bait cages. And then on top of that, we also made the clips larger. So since we make 4 different models of hoop nets, we noticed, okay, those original clips worked really well for the first 2 models. But as you get into the larger size models, they weren't clipping in as easy.
Right.
And when you're on the water and you find a spot full of lobster and you pick your hoop up, the first thing you want to do is change the bait out real quick and drop it right back down to the same place so you can get those same lobsters, right? So we made it easier for those people to be able to do everything that they need to do without struggling on that clip.
No, it works.
Yeah, and it works. And so people are having a lot less issues with the twist lock. People are just able to, be more efficient with their time, which that's really what it comes down to. You were mentioning the 3 most important key things, and efficiency is one thing to add into there. Is you want to be as efficient as possible. You want to be a well-oiled machine, because that's how you're going to get the best use out of your time, right? It's all about using the best time possible. The lobsters are only going to crawl for a certain amount of time, and you want to.
They don't crawl all night.
No. Yeah, you want to take advantage when they're moving. You want to have no issues. You just want to be in the water pulling up lobster. That's all you want to be doing.
So I'm new to lobster fishing. Okay, listener out there, what do I need? What do I need to get from your local tackle shop, which sells Promar, or from the Promar website?
Yeah, so there is. And that's the beauty of it, is we offer everything that you need to get out there except for the bait. And there's a couple companies out there who are starting to make some bait that are actually molded around our seal-proof bait cages. I believe the company is called Lobster Logs. And so they make.
Does that work?
I've never used them myself. I have seen some great success last year, but people are using them, and
it makes it easy, right?
It makes it a lot easier. They message us and they're like, "Hey, we really like your guys' products. We actually use your seal-proof bait cage to mold the lobster logs." So that's one thing. Like I said, Promar offers everything. So the first thing you're going to need is your ambush hoop net, and you're going to want to determine based off of what vessel, if you're fishing off of a smaller kayak or a smaller boat, maybe you want to go for the 32-inch one, or maybe you're going onto a larger size boat, or you just have a bit more space and you're willing to work with it. Then we have our 36-inch ones.
Which one do you fish with?
We fish. I fish with my buddy Renee here, and we use the XLH, which are the 14-pounders. And those, to me, I mean, if you're in the harbor, in the at the islands, you're not really going to have too much of an issue. Those are, that extra weight helps when you're dropping them down to get them exactly where you want it.
Yeah.
And the current,
with there's current,
exactly, and the current doesn't really mess around with it. With the lighter ones, if you're fishing in really strong current, as you're dropping it, it might shift in direction as it's falling. And then also, if it's super, strong currents, it's going to walk a little. And so that's something to consider. If you're in the harbor, you're not going to have that issue. You'll be perfectly fine using those.
Unless there's a big tide.
Unless there's a big tide.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if not, if you're going to the islands, I highly recommend grabbing those XLHs, which are the 14-pound ones.
And what's a standard, the big standard? What's that way?
So the largest one that we have, which is the XLHD, is going to be 23, and then the standard one is going to be 6 pounds. 6 pounds.
14 and 23.
6, 14, and 23. The 23 is really
difference.
Just for Northern California. You're welcome to grab them here. I'm not going to tell you no. Those are, but at the end of the day,
more for crab.
That's more for Dungeness crabbing up in NorCal. So yeah.
But so 6 and 14 are the ones you want to key in on.
6 and 14 are the
pound. That's pounds.
And that's pounds.
And you recommend if you have room for the 36-inch versus the 32.
Yeah, correct. The 32s are the smallest ones we make, and those are only going to come in a 5-pound variant. And those are a lot smaller. They're mainly meant for like kayakers and smaller boaters. So
gotcha.
Yeah, if you have like a small, 15, 14-inch skiff, you can grab those and have plenty of space on board still.
So you have your hoop. Now what?
Yeah. So the hoop net, and then you're going to need some line. You're going to need your seal-proof bait cages, of course. I highly recommend those. Don't grab anything else. The seal-proof ones are going to keep you safe in the harbor. You're not going to have to replace them anytime soon. And then you have at the very top your buoy, which is going to be marked with your Go ID, maybe some reflective tape, which is something that we offer as well. Drill your holes for the weight and the light sticks. I like using the LED light sticks. They're replaceable. They last you multiple seasons. You got to replace the batteries, which is only going to cost you maybe $1 each. And it's super inexpensive, and it's more efficient, and really it's better for the environment. We're not constantly reusing these glow sticks that you end up throwing away in the trash. And then that's something that I think as fishermen we need to consider, is the trash that we're developing as we fish, and taking care of that ahead of time.
So now probably, I mean, who knows how long since the original time the book was written, but do you still like the Jim Salazar method, the sinker keeled float and the LED light, opposite of the keel weight floating on top? Is that still the preferred marking, killer method? Yeah,
for sure. I actually met him for the first time last year at one of the shows, and it's crazy. All the things that he set up initially, the things that we're still using and preaching today, like that is the right way to do it. And I am lobster hooping tons of times throughout the season. I go plenty of times on Justin's boat. I go plenty of time on Pablo's boat. I go more on Pablo's boat than anybody else, really. And those are the same methods that we're using to this day.
When you see somebody whose gear is really squared away, meaning that their floats are right and they're well lit and they're keeled and all those things, I mean, there is such a no doubt difference when you see it. And then when you're using it, just to be able to at a glance and know where every single hoop is at. You're not pulling a spotlight out. You're not trying to, I think it's over here-ish somewhere, and where do we drop that one? I mean, you can, with the gear that Promar provides, you can have your system so squared away. Yeah.
It's all about dialing yourself in. Like I said, time efficiency is a super important thing. If you have all your gear right, all the Promar gear, it's not going to fail you, and it's just going to consistently get you in the water as fast as you can. Then all you have to worry about is your spots.
And then as far as learning all these techniques on the Promar Ahi website, you have videos and stuff like that?
Yeah, so we have a resource page. It's up live now. I highly recommend anybody who's a new beginner, or even if you're an experienced angler, go out there, learn what it is that you need to learn. We have everything from how to use navionics to properly filling your bait cage. And that's one thing that I see a lot of people tend to fail. And just everything from A to Z. You have videos of Pablo up there, Dave up there, Justin up there, Wilberto, Gil Rocket, everything from
covering multiple bays, not just Mission Bay or San Diego Bay, but you cover Long Beach, because you guys live up north, so you probably fishing a lot up north, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we fish out of Cabrillo. We fish out in like San Pedro, LA Harbor, and Long Beach Harbor as well.
Which one's better?
Mission Bay.
So wherever the Fernandez charter boat's dropping the gear, that's where it's best.
Yeah.
One thing to add, guys, if we're still talking to the caller that's new at this and everything, remember to have your lobster report card, your fishing license, and a gauge. Yeah. You have to have a gauge within reach for everybody that's lobster fishing on the boat.
Yeah.
So that's something that
Can you have guests on the boat without lobster cards and without gauges?
100%.
As long as they're not.
If they're involved in any activity, you're going to know it
if they're watching. Because if the guys are watching and they see somebody involved in the activity, you're going to get a citation.
Yeah, there's no playing games.
But that's an important point. You got to have a lobster gauge for each person on the boat, which is a ridiculous part of the law, but you know, it's a law.
But it's a law. But whatever. Yeah. Doesn't matter how dumb it is. If that's the law, that's the law. You got to follow.
Yeah, and the lobster report card, which is now seasonal. Thank goodness.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you can pick it up now at any tackle shop, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And don't forget to turn it in, because then it'll cost you $26 more, I believe, if you don't turn it in.
Or and it's easy to turn it. You either mail it in, or you go online and it just takes 3 minutes to really submit it. Yeah. Well, as you can hear, we have a great show to talk about lobsters and tuna. They're biting.
Yeah,
and yellowtail are biting.
Excellent fishing. Tuna. Excellent fishing for the fleet again, and the bait situation just fantastic right now. And with lobster on the horizon, man, we're stoked. Today's going to be a great show.
Good time of the year to be in Southern California.
No doubt. Weather finally getting straight again to it. We've been struggling with the wind machine, and we've just got a lot of great fishing in front of us, and we're looking forward to talking to you about it.
Awesome. That one for sure.
If you want to join us this morning, give us a call at 833-288-0973. We got our man Jeff standing by this morning at the fan to be taking your phone calls. Again, 833-288-0973. Hey, you can also send us a text. The show is so popular. We've already had a bunch of really great texts come through this morning, and we're going to be looking forward to covering those over the next couple hours. If you want to send in a text, the only way you can do that is through the Let's Talk Hookup app. It's a free download, easy to find. It's the most efficient way to listen to Let's Talk Hookup. If you like listening on your drive home during the week, you can catch all the past shows, all the great shows with Christy from Dawson and the boys from CalStar and Wayne yesterday. And all the great stuff on Let's Talk Hookup. Very easy to listen at your leisure through the Let's Talk Hookup app. And it's the only way you can text in your question to the boys today. If you do, make sure you include your contact info. Just a name and a phone number along with your text question is all we need in case you win the big prize at the end of the show today. And man, what a couple of cool prizes. And I can guarantee you that there will be a text message winner today, because there also will be a caller winner today. The boys so graciously have brought in a $100 gift card for the Promar and Ahi website. We're going to be giving away one to one of the callers and one to one of the texters at the end of the show today.
Pretty cool.
Very, very cool opportunity.
One note, unfortunately, right now our phones are down, but the engineers are working. Jeff just sent me a message. Something's wrong with the fan phones.
Okay.
So
send those texts.
The engineer is working on it right now. So if you've been trying to get through on the phones, something's up. We'll get it solved. Jeff's a master, and we have a wonderful engineer at the fan, too. He'll get that solved.
No doubt about that. But in the meantime, keep the text rolling through. There's already been a bunch of great ones, and we'll look forward to reading those when we get back. And we'll look forward to getting those phones up and running here soon. And when we return, we got a lot of Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. We got catch reports. We got fantastic information with the boys from Promar and Ahi. You stay tuned. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California's sport fishing voice on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook and YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
Hello, Let's Talk Hookup listeners. This is Tim with Friends of Rollo, and we are gearing up for our annual Rod Week promotion. This year highlights a fantastic selection of rods that will be given away every Thursday starting November 6th. All of these rods can be seen on the Rollo website at rollokids.org. Tickets are $25 each, and if you buy 4, we will give you one free. When you buy 4, you will also be entered into a drawing to win one of Carl Newell's personal rods and Newell reel. Carl Newell was a pioneer in the fishing industry, and what better way to have a chance to own a piece of fishing history? To purchase tickets, Call Tim at 951-264-7382 or email win@rollowkids.org. Please leave your name and number, and I will get back to you. Thank you for making it possible for Friends of Rollo to take over 150,000 kids fishing. Your support is greatly appreciated.
This is Captain Tim Ekstrom from the long-range vessel Royal Star. With my partners Randy Toussaint and Brian Sims, we have set the bar for the long-range fishing experience. Spring 8-day, summer 5-day, or fly-down, fly-back 11-day winter trip, we deliver the highest quality long-range voyage you will find. From our premium RSW fish storage to our top-of-the-line chefs and crew, Royal Star distinguishes itself from all others. Want to grab a spot on the Royal Star? Check us out at royalstarsportfishing.com or call Tracy at 619-224-4764.
Partners Outdoorsman, Southern California's #1 shooting, hunting, and fishing tackle retailer since 1971, is right in your neighborhood. Now with stores throughout Southern, Central, and Northern California. No one does it better. Turner's Outdoorsman brings you the best prices and selection, plus a knowledgeable staff that will help make your day on the water or in the field more fun. Stop by your neighborhood Turner's Outdoorsman. To find a location nearest you, check the web at turners.com and sign up for special deals and more.
Inside information is everything when it comes to catching fish in Southern California. You need a code group to connect with what's happening on the water. FishDope.com is your code group. Inside information available at your fingertips 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and burn less fuel. FishDope.com is the only fish finding service with a spotter plane, along with a crew of top anglers on the water almost every day that report actual locations and catches. They become your code group. You get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Catine, 365 days a year. FishDope.com has online planning tools, temperature and chlorophyll charts, hot bite icons, and more. Take it from me, if you don't have FishDope.com, you're not part of the in-the-know crowd. Membership is affordable and good for an entire year. Plus, use the special code and save $30 on a new FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel.
For your next fishing adventure, check Point Loma Sport Fishing. They offer half-day and full-day trips daily, perfect for families and the novice or seasoned fishermen. Point Loma Sport Fishing also offers overnight to multi-day trips, targeting the best of seasonal catches. Visit PointLomaSportFishing.com, where you can purchase tickets online and get more information on the trips available, or call 619-223-1627. Want to go fishing? Point Loma Sport Fishing has you covered.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here this morning. Been very busy because the texts are rolling through. Like Pete said, phone's temporarily down right now, but Jeff and the boys are getting rolling on that. But lots of great texts coming through. And again, if you haven't sent a text before, this is the great reason to do so. Just get on the Let's Talk Hookup app. It's a free download, whether you're an Android, an iPhone, very easy to find. As soon as you get the app open, one of the first tabs you'll see is text the show. Just click the link, fire in your question, and yeah, we'll look forward to having it on the air.
Lobster's a popular subject because there's already tons of texts right here. Yeah, people are pumped up for it. Do you find that, Pablo, Mission Bay less crowded than San Diego Bay, or is it kind of equal?
I'm going to say Mission Bay is the most crowded lobster place in the world, and you don't want to go there.
Everybody's rude. There's no room. Tickets for everybody. It's all short.
You have the side tie, and everybody needs to bumper themselves up all day. No, just kidding. I mean, you guys know how it is. The first day it's a madhouse. There's people in bathtubs rowing around. You know, I mean, there's everything out there that you could possibly imagine. As time goes on, it kind of trickles out. Yeah. So I would say, like, for me, I like to go during the week. I usually do like a couple weekday trips and then maybe one weekend trip, because the weekend, again, you know,
more people.
And
sure.
So do you think it's really that much better at the beginning of the year, or
no? I don't think that at all. Actually, if I had my way, I wouldn't even go out on opening night because it's such a zoo. But it is fun too, just to kind of
it's the season.
Go out and have
Get
fun.
Things kicked off.
The opener.
Exactly, it's the opener, so it's fun just to go out there and do it. But it doesn't matter when you go. Okay, it matters. What matters is you have a little bit of tide movement, and what the worse the conditions are, as far as weather wise and water visibility wise and all that, the better. After a fresh rain, it's amazing when you go out, even while it's raining.
Lobsters don't like fresh water.
They don't like fresh water, and it irritates them. And they start really
They
crawling,
move around.
they start moving
Like
around.
getting
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. So you'll really do well during those
If we ever
times.
get rain here again.
Yeah, I think we will.
At some point we'll get some rain.
We'll get a few drops this year. But,
yeah.
it's year long, and a lot of times towards the end of the season too is super good. But honestly, you can go out any day of the week. The best day and time to go out is when you can make it out there.
When you can make it
right.
out. Is there any particular tide that you like to fish?
So I just like a little bit of tide movement, because if it's kind of like at the top of the tide or the bottom of the tide, what we call slack tide, they don't seem to cruise around a whole lot. They send it because they're looking, right? They're looking for little filtrate objects, floating around, little signs of bait, things like that. So if there's no water moving, they're kind of like slowly kicking it or they're staying home or whatever until that starts moving. Then they get really active. As soon as there's some water movement and some turbulence and stuff like that, then they really start crawling.
Yeah.
When you're going all the time, do you feel like there's can you set your watch to it? Like, okay, these things are going to start crawling at the very beginning of this tide, or does it just seem to be more random? They're always, you can feel it when they're crawling, and you get your hoops in the same stretch of bottom, and you go through them 2 times for a short here or there. And then all of a sudden time 3, it's legal, short, boom, boom, boom. We're almost done. And we go through 2 or 3 more times, and then it's right back to onesie twosie again. And like, you always know, like, man, they were between 7 and 8. Those things were really crawling. We crushed them. Like, is there a way of pinpointing when that happens, or do you just have to keep the bait on the bottom, and when they go, they go?
You have to basically keep your own journal and kind of like a marine log or something, where you're creating your own almanac for years to come. And I've been doing that forever. I always take notes on how was it, what time was it, what was the tide, what was the moon, what was this and that. And guess what? When you got it all figured out and you go there and you're going to slam them at 9:30, 9 p.m., you go out and you get like 30 little baby crawfish, or you get nothing, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, I'd limit it out right here.
I knew that this was the
last
time.
night.
I knew on a 4-foot tide they bite at 7 o'clock, and
yeah, so
it's fishing.
Yeah, you can't have it figured out.
Totally.
But you can give yourself notes to give you a good guess.
I always love the guys that go up and tell the professional captain, it's like, that maybe having a tough trip. It's like, well, we got them over here last time. They were right
closer to the island.
Yeah, we were close to the island last time. They move around just like fish, right?
They move around, and that's why you have to have your go-to spots. Spot A, B, C, all the way through Z, and then maybe you have the double letter through the alphabet again, because that's how many spots there are. These things, they're called bugs, guys. It's not that hard. Like, if you're putting everything in front of them the right way, you're going to get them. And then, through trial and error, you're going to start figuring out, okay, how do I hone in on legals? How do I stop getting a million shorts? How do I get more legals? Well, you got to move around, right?
Yeah.
And try different things.
My biggest problem when fishing for lobsters is always trying to decide whether we're just in the wrong zone or they haven't started crawling. I'm so hesitant to pick up my gear and move it. You have confidence in where you're fishing, and you have confidence where you put your gear down, but you said it best. Sometimes it doesn't bite. Doesn't matter how great your spot is and how many limits you've caught out of there. Sometimes it just doesn't. Sometimes they're not crawling in there. And that's always been my biggest issue, is like, man, when you make that call to pick it up and move it somewhere else versus just wait it out, man, those things are going to crawl at some point.
So that's a very good point, and we'll touch on that real quick. Basically what I do is I call it prospecting. So I go out and I'll put a couple here, and Renee does the same thing on his boat, and Justin does the same thing. If we're kind of getting a lay of the land, you kind of start prospecting. You start putting some over here, putting some over here, trying different areas, because you got 10 hoops on there, guys. So spread them out, try all your different areas. And then when you come back to one that's crawling, maybe put a couple more there.
Carpet bombing a little bit.
Yeah, you start carpet bombing. And that's literally it. If you come across one that's just swarming, you better throw it right back down. I know Brian said change the bait and all that. Sometimes you just check it. Okay, looks good. These things are crawling. Throw it right back in, right in the same spot, because you have evidence that they're crawling right there.
Right in that zone.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is a law that says you have to be within a certain area of your hoops, right? You can't be across the bay and have some across the bay here legally. So just be aware of that if you want to follow the law. I forget what the actual number is, but you have to be within a certain distance of your hoops.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one, but yeah, I mean, you're gonna be near your hoops no matter what because you're gonna want.
So you're talking about in a general area.
In a general
because
area.
one thing you want to be sure too is that unfortunately, sadly, there's a lot of thieves out there too.
Right.
And people will steal your hoops. So you got to watch them. You got to keep an eye on them, right?
Yeah, and you want to just because of hazards of other
Safety,
boaters, divers,
safety.
whatever.
Yeah.
You want to keep, and you want to make sure that, like Brian touched on earlier, they're not walking. If they're drifting through the channel, that's not good. You want to pick that thing up and either weigh it down or use a larger hoop. And especially if a big tide's happening, right? Yeah, and I use both. I use both the super light ones and I also use the 14-pound ones because when we get that tide ripping, or if you're fishing out in the ocean area near shore, near structure, and there's swell, there's a lot of swell around here, those things will move. So you want to make sure you have them weighted down properly, identified, and keep an eye on them. I mean, it's only going to keep the honest guys honest, but people tend to know each other out there after a while.
Sure.
Everybody's cool.
Get to know.
And again, the better lit, marked, everything your gear, yet again, the better. Like there's no room for, I didn't know that was, I didn't know that was Pablo's when it's, this buoy perfectly marked, perfectly lit, LED, flashing lights. Like, dude, there is no. And you can just see it from a lot farther away too. If you've got a dim glow stick that's half fallen off, or you're just relying on your spotlight, you don't know where that's at, but you could be at the far end of your string, and if your gear's lit up with those killer Promar LEDs, you can see all the way down to the other end. Like, that's my light, and there's somebody messing with it.
And the cool thing too about the Promar LEDs is that they'll flash or no flash, right?
Yeah. So we have two different colors. It's going to be the blue and the white ones, and then they have the strobing effect, which is that flashing effect, or you can have them solid. It's really just going to be dependent on how you do it. We kind of mix it up. Sometimes what I'll do is, have a full set of blue and put the strobing one at the end, so I know that that's the end of the line. Right? So that way I know I start at the other end, and that way I can kind of keep track. Because when you're getting in the groove of things, you kind of start losing track of which was the first one, which was the last one I did. And
you have a great text, right?
I thought so. Says, hey, good morning, guys. Couple of great questions. We've been catching and loading up my freezer with some bonita lately, with the potential scarcity of bait. My question for you guys is using is one, do I need to be concerned about a 5-fish limit on bonita? Does it change if the fish is whole or already processed into fillets for my tubes? And then also, what's your thought on fresh bait versus frozen? An additional was, I'm really liking the Promar jigs. Do you guys have any plan on making heavier? I'd really like to start slow pitching all the way down to the 14-mile bank, etc.
So let me start from the back end of that question. The jigs, I'm assuming he's talking about the Ikara jigs.
He was,
yeah, and those are awesome. If you guys haven't checked them out, check them out. And
admittedly, I just didn't know how to pronounce it, so I just left the name. I just left the name right out of it.
Yeah.
Tell us about the Ikara jigs.
Yeah, so the Ikara jigs are awesome jigs. If you guys haven't tried them yet, I highly recommend them. Slow pitching has become such a more popular thing here in Southern California. It's been a popular thing already on the East Coast. And we have everything from 15 gram available now, 21, 28, 40, 60, 80. And now we have the 130 grams, which are the heavier ones, and then 170 gram, which are the heaviest ones that we offer. So you should be able to start getting down into those deeper depths with those. But we do want to eventually expand that line with more colors and more sizes. We've seen a lot of great success on those. People have been catching everything from on the East Coast, redfish, snook, trout, and then they take them over here and they've been catching everything from stripers and largemouth bass to spotties, calicos, yellowtail, bluefin. I've seen a huge variety of fish on those jigs. So yes, we're going to have a lot more variety in terms of sizing and colors available soon. And in terms of the catch limit for bonita and what you need to have on your boat, fresh versus dead bait, I'll pass it off to Pablo because he'll probably have a better answer than I will.
So there's a lot of discussion over that, like, okay, the 5-fish limit, or if you have your bait all chopped up, are they going to go through your bait? I mean, I don't think they're going to look through your bait and be like, oh, you have way too many bonita. I mean, they have bigger fish to fry. If
they could though,
but they could. And if you're concerned about that, well then, I really don't know how you would document that to show them. So,
and if you have stuff that's left over in your freezer and you chop that up, how do you know?
So
I would have a hard time believing if you get the wrong officer, right? It's possible.
Yeah.
And that would be a question
Exactly.
next
That's your question
Saturday.
for
That's
next
a
week
question
when you
for
have
next
to-
Saturday. 'Cause,
Talk to
Warden.
Eric Cord.
Yeah.
He's the warden. He's the guy that makes the decision
Yeah.
and advises his wardens. That would be one for next Saturday because it's a very good question.
If
It
that's
is.
what you are
It's very
afraid,
good.
if that's what you're afraid of, is having your, having 5 of them on the boat and then planning on trying to catch fresh and not wanting to then have your previous rows. I mean, I know it's more of a mess, but I would just fillet those things out. Cut the ones up that you're freezing, and and cut them into strips or whatever it might be. Like I'm with you. I think you would have to be a real jerk to a warden for him to call you on stripped out frozen bait that you had and your fresh ones on board the boat. But like you say, that's a question for the warden.
Yeah, but if you have whole bonita and you have 7 bonita, you're over limit.
Yeah,
and that's that's cut and dry
Per angler, though, right? I mean,
per angler. Yeah.
So really, how many bonita could you have on the boat?
Per angler. Yeah. So
And
if
then
you have 3 anglers, you can have
Right.
15 bonita.
Right.
That's a lot of bonita.
But it is an area, like you said, to table till next weekend to ask the officer. But honestly, I mean, how bait has been, it's a good idea to have backup bait. Like have your frozen bait always ready, because there's times, as we know very well, we've never run out of bait down here.
Right.
And we'd be like, oh, they run out of bait up north in Long Beach or whatever. And we're like, oh, that sucks, but we don't usually do.
Yeah.
But this year we
This
ran
year
out
it happened.
plenty, right?
Yeah.
So I would recommend, either saving your anchovies or your sardines if you're done at the end of the day, if you're fishing, and freeze those up and have them, bring them with you. And then whatever's at the bait barge, use it. If not, go out and make your own mackerel. Mackerel is great bait. Great bait.
Yeah.
Bonita's good. Mackerel's good.
Great.
Sardines and anchovies.
Yeah.
I have a great text here from Paul in Placentia. It says, good morning, guys. My question this morning is for their lobster charter that is available for a novice or beginner. My wife and I have always wanted to try lobster hooping, and we want to learn from someone who has experience. Excellent idea. Pablo?
I'm going to table this one to Brian. No, just kidding. Of course, we love to offer lobster charters. That's what I do. I specialize in families and really like crew bonding experiences for companies and things like that, or just people that just want to come out and enjoy. But Renee knows, Brian knows, I teach them everything I do. I show them my electronics. I show them my equipment. I show them what I'm looking for when I'm looking for an uptick on the screen. I show them everything. And they're going to do the work. They're going to learn, and they're going to do it because
they're going to take home the lobsters.
You're right. And I'm not going to be pulling any hoop nets unless there's a problem. If they're stuck in the engine or stuck in the rocks or stuck, whatever, I'll deal with it.
But you're going to teach them how to do all that.
Yeah. We demonstrate it, and we let them be as involved as they want to be. So they'll be stuffing bait cages with us. They'll be chopping up the bait a little bit, getting it all ready to go. They'll be deploying the hoops where I tell them to do it, and they'll be retrieving them.
Well, I'll tell you, if you're into hooping, that is the most money well spent you could ever do it ever. You will
no question about it.
You will shorten your learning curve so fast.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like going on sport. One thing I mentioned, you're in Mission Bay, San Diego Bay. They're in Placentia. Are there some charters that you work with in LA, Orange County area?
Yes, we do. So we have Captain Justin Buttrell. He's a big captain that we work with out over there, and he's based out of Long Beach. We also have Will Berto. He's a great captain. He will get you on board. He is based out of like Newport area, and he can kind of get you started pretty much in that region.
Do you have a resource page on the Promar RE website that's with partners like that?
So we have we have a professional page, which is all the Promar Pro staff, and it kind of has their websites linked on there as well as some other information. So if you guys want to check it out, I'm not sure if it has information in terms of region, but they each have a small bio on there, and you guys can check them out and see who's closest to you or who might be able to, suit your needs and stuff like that. So,
all right. Sounds good.
Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming away. We're going to be checking in with the catch reports, find out what's biting up and down the beach, and a whole lot more of your texts. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California sport fishing voice on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook, and
Have you been looking for a live bait hook that keeps live bait alive? Look no further than Japan's leading fish hook, Gamakatsu. It's the little things that make the difference, and Gamakatsu hooks drive the point home. With an absolute perfect bend and ideal barbs, your bait swims harder and longer. And when you get bit, Gamakatsu hooks bite back with a vengeance. All hooks are not the same. Go with Gamakatsu for infinite success. Gamakatsu, simply the best. Check gamakatsu.com.
For local or long-range fishing, we have you covered. Hi, this is Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing Tackle, the saltwater tackle professionals. Being a part of the San Diego Sport Fishing Landing gives us a distinct advantage when it comes to getting you on the latest and hottest tackle for your trip. Our expert staff knows exactly what you need for your long-range or local trip, and we will not sell you something you don't need. We carry a huge inventory of the right tackle. So visit us at Fisherman's Landing Tackle at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. The name that stands out among anglers is Fisherman's Landing, your top choice in local and long-range fishing. Our hardworking crew will make your fishing experience one to remember. We offer the finest open party trips from 1 to 3 days, the best charter boats available, and of course, our world-renowned long-range fleet is second to none. All our open party trips can be easily booked online at fishermanslanding.com or give us a call. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
Hi, this is Captain Ray Lopez, owner-operator of the American Angler. I've spent more than half my life aboard the American Angler along with my partners Brian and Lori, developing a team that's as good as it gets. I've been fortunate to spend time in the ocean with so many fine people that I look forward to fishing with. We can't thank you enough for being part of the American Angler family, and if you haven't joined us, we love the opportunity to meet you. Text or call Lori at 619-223-5414 or check AmericanAnglerSportFishing.com.
Hi, this is Tommy the Fishmonger from Tunaville Market and Grocery and the TV show Fishmonger. I've known Yosef Husseini for over 20 years, and he's the expert when it comes to real estate. He's helped me with estate planning and multiple estate questions that the average guy like myself just doesn't understand. Yosef's not only a fellow angler, but he's an amazing realtor that specializes in helping us in the angling community find their ultimate home. If you own a home, get a free, no obligation home evaluation now online from Yusuf by typing in SoCalHomeEval.com. All you do is put in your address and you'll get that report fast. Yusuf is a SoCal real estate guy to go to. He's helped me and many of my customers and family members to find what they are looking for in a home. He understands the real estate market like no other, so take it from Tommy the Fishmonger. Yusuf's the real deal when it comes to your real estate needs. Go to SoCalHomeEval.com and I'll see you at Tunaville Market and Grocery.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here this morning.
So I have an answer about the phones from Jeff, and so we're still working. So the engineer, our extraordinary engineer at the 97.3 The Fans, JR, says it's not an issue with the phone system at the Fan. It's an issue with the station, AT&T or whatever 5 carrier it is.
Okay.
All 5 are out for some reason. There's some kind of a major issue with the phone system. So they're working on the issue. They're trying to get it resolved. But in the meantime, we have text.
Yeah, no stress, man. We got a bunch of texts, and there are some
and
really...
we have our own phone system here because we can still do the catch
That was a
reports.
smart move on your part there, buddy. A little backup. Hey, speaking of the catch board, it's time to find out what's biting because we got him. Captain Brian Woolley is standing by, and today our catch board is sponsored by our friends at Norris Lithium. Power your boat with Norris Lithium. It's the ultimate choice for marine adventures. Norris delivers unmatched starting, trolling, and electronics power. Norris batteries are packed with cutting-edge technology. You can upgrade your marine power today. Set up your system at norrislithium.com or go see the trolling motor. We got him. Captain Brian Woolley's on the line. What up, Woolley?
Hey, good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Good stuff in there.
Yeah, having fun.
Yeah.
Lobster time. Yeah, coming up. Coming up quick.
That means lots of things to dodge on the way out of the harbor, right?
Speaking of spotlights.
Right, exactly. Hey, good time of year for those guys to get the ball rolling. Absolutely. We're stoked to see those guys go to work, so it's good for them. Hey, local bass fishing for us was still kind of the main focus for both our half and 3/4 days. Still no real sign of any game fish or anything really offshore. I mean, there's a few random reports of some yellowfin on some dolphin and whatnot outside there a little ways, but still nothing really confirmed and nothing really juicy enough to get our boats, yes, we're looking, but, we haven't spent time, really out there just because it's just, empty kelp after empty kelp and and whatnot. So that whole thing is just kind of back burner. Certainly it's in play at some point, we hope, but mostly it's been this bass stuff on our 1/2 and 3/4 day trips. We've had some real nice anchovy and sardine for our live bait this week. Perfect anchovy, perfect size sardine. So midwater baits got bit best for both those calico bass and the sand bass. Sliding egg sinkers, Carolina rigs, that stuff was all money rigs this week, just because it fished those baits perfectly with the current and whatnot. Got them down midwater, and guys, bait after bait, if they could, find the right bait and get it out there perfect. It was some fun fishing. So that's action in the kelp as well on the days that we had some good current and some water movement. Guys that had like Lucky Crafts or some of those hard salt minnow baits, those hard jerk baits that could make those long casts along the lanes of the kelp, had some real nice fish to show at the end of their day. Just patience, obviously you're not going to get a fish on every cast, but that persistence, having confidence in the lures that you're throwing, knowing you're going to get bit. Those guys that, don't make five casts and put the rod back in the rack, they'll spend some time making those casts, and they were rewarded with some real nice ones in along that. And then in that same kelp, some sheephead, some rockfish, sculpin, some of that stuff in the mix. The Fury had a great week too on the days that they were able to get out offshore, because that wind again, had those guys at the dock this week a few days. But they did have a couple overnight trips. They had a 2-day trip where they had some nice bluefin action. I think that was on Friday. They were out there, they had 20-something bluefin for their guys on the first day, and then they slid into the island and had some really good calico bass fishing at the island there. Same deal though, rockfish, whitefish, sheephead. Just a good, nice mixed bag of fish for those guys. Our 4-pack boats like Lexi and the Current, they're out there as well. They're trying to make a catch for their guys on those days that they're able to get out there with the weather and whatnot. And then just twilight fishing has been fun too for those guys. Good way to unwind after work. Our twilight trips right now are running Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturday nights. So if you guys want to hop on a trip after work, that's a good time to come down and get a line in the water. But just a mellow week, light loads. Weekends have been busy, but light loads during the week for sure, with everyone back in school and life going on. But if you guys want to hop on a trip, we're busy all week. Give us a call here, 949-496-5794. Of course, you can hit us on the web too at danawharf.com. And don't forget, it's half off on Tuesdays. If you guys want to come half-day fish or 3/4 day fish on Tuesday, certainly want to make a reservation for that, because that seems to fill up pretty quick.
Man, great job. Great report. Glad to hear it. Good weather coming forward. Good fishing. Good bait. We'll take it, Willie. Great job. Appreciate it very much, and we'll talk to you next week.
Roger, guys. Have a great show.
Thanks, bro.
See ya.
Thanks. Appreciate it
very much. All right, let's hit the surf. The surf guru, Gundy Gunderson, is on the line with our surf fishing report. What up, Gundy?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good, buddy. Good
What's
morning.
happening, Gundy?
Yeah, interesting setup. We're kind of along the same lines. We've been very good fishing, on the northern front. I'd say Santa Barbara all the way down through Huntington Beach. And then the guys south, Newport, Dana, San Diego, still struggling. Lots of junk in the water this week with some swell, kelp, eelgrass, that kind of thing. So the whole key is finding those cleaner beaches. Hook, line, sinker reported very good barred perch fishing up there. As we kind of turn into fall here, we start seeing some of those better perch. 6 to 9 inch fish, topped by, I think they had a 10, 11 inch fish were the better ones. Sand crabs, lugworms, mussels working for those guys. The halibut fishers made some catches. 20, not big fish, 24 to 30 inch were the legal size. Hard jerk baits working. The white colors doing real good. Like that bone color was one they mentioned in particular. And again, the key is finding that clean water. Hard to fish those hard jerk baits when you got fouled water. Very good leopard shark fishing up there. They saw, they were actually reported a 5.5 and a 6 foot. So those are nice 30, 40 pound leopard sharks. And the white sea bass were also active on the backside of that full moon from Mesa to Goleta, 31 and a 30 inch fish taken on ring swim baits there. South Bay has also been hot, and it was still very good. Just Fishing reported excellent Corbina fishing with some quality perch in the mix. Find the cleaner stretches. Hermosa and Torrance look good this week, and that's where the guys made some scores. Big Fish reported excellent spot fin fishing on the backside of that full moon, and it was real quality fish, 2 to 4 pounds. They had a few 5-pound fish, and live ghost shrimp was the hot bait. We were just talking about this last week, but they said that was the hot bait for the spot fin. Dog Beach, 72nd place. Bolsa Chica Inlet, Alamitos Bay, all kicking out fish. And also the guys were putting those ghost shrimps on the beach and scoring some nice corvina up to 3.5 pounds. So, you know, we're talking about doing different things, and that's what they're doing up north. And, you know, the guys down south, just lots of junk in the water, and it's been a struggle. That's the only way to put it.
Boy, we'll take it though. I mean, like I said, well, hopefully we get a little better conditions for the crew fishing down south, but certainly good fishing up above. And like you said, you've preached that a lot of times, Gunny. Sometimes the exotic bait is the thing that makes the difference. Yeah, it's fall, and ghost shrimp's always a good bait this time of year. I like it, man. Well, a great report, Gunny. Appreciate it. Always so complete on the surf report up and down the beach. And yeah, sometimes you got to take the good with the not so good and just wait for the better conditions to follow. Appreciate it as always, buddy. We'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, get in your car and drive. Road trip.
I like it. Thanks, Gundy. Appreciate it very much.
Have a good week, gentlemen.
You too.
That's going to wrap up our catch report today. Surffishtackle.com. That's where you need to go for all of your surf fishing needs. And hopefully we'll hear a little bit from some of the boys today too. But good fishing again last night, in terms of offshore fishing. Pete, I know you mentioned it a little bit earlier, but I was talking with the boys at the landing on my way in this morning. I mean, it was good fishing, 30, 40 fish a boat for the guys last night. Just back to what it was in the beginning of the season. Good nighttime jig fishing.
And the weather's improving every day. It's supposed to be flat, calm by tomorrow.
There's both daytime, fly line, light line, smaller grade bluefin fishing up on the shallows of the bank, and then back to the more traditional 40 and 60 pounders at nighttime on the jigs. It's been a good mix.
And biting at the islands too.
Yeah, right. Cornhole Islands fishing good again, anchor fishing. So we're in a really good spot right now. It seems like that late summer that everybody looks for, where the weather gets right and the fish get biting, it really feels like that's starting to happen for us right now.
Brian, does Promar do surf fishing tackle too? And I mean, you guys have some stuff for surf fishing?
Yeah, of course. So I surf fish a lot myself.
Do you?
Yeah, I go. Well, I love going for halibut and spot fin and leopard and stuff like that.
So you have stuff.
Yeah, I have some stuff. I have what I would say is the best thing that we offer are like the Ikara jigs, the smaller size ones. If you guys are going to be fishing on surf. Sometimes they're looking for that, or our flash jigs, or really small flash jigs. Those kill it.
Cool. That's it. Hey, we got another hour coming your way. You stay tuned. You're listening to Southern California's Sport Fishing Voice. This is Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook and YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
Do you know why 1 million customers visited Summit Gasoline last year at the San Diego Sports Arena? Because they give you the lowest price on fuel. Great service and easy access, even for trucks and trailers at their 24 pumps. Summit is known for the best price on ice, too. Almost half the cost of any other vendor. 25 pounds for just $3.99. Martha and her crew love Fisherman, and they'll prove it by giving you 100 pounds free with a 35-gallon fill-up. Summit offers over 40 snacks and drinks to choose from for only 89 cents. And even a line of hand creams and lip balms for 89 cents, too. Summit now proudly offers locally made burritos and sandwiches. Made fresh daily and ready to go wherever the current takes you. Summit just upgraded their car wash. And for a limited time, get a deluxe car wash for only $6. Grab the wife's car, grab a cheap sandwich, and make up for the day on the water. Summit Gasoline. Lowest prices, friendliest staff, easy access, and free ice. What more can you ask for?
This is Rock Cod Rick for Adventure and Camping, where they bring the adventure to you. If you enjoy camping in the Eastern Sierra but don't own an RV or a trailer, or simply don't want the hassle, let Adventure and Camping park it for you. Check out their website, adventureandcamping.com. Select from over 75 campgrounds they serve. Decide on a trailer floor plan that fits your needs. Request a quote for your desired vacation dates. Then just show up and start your adventure. Adventure and Camping makes it so simple. They deliver the trailer to your spot and you enjoy a clean, spacious trailer. When it comes time to go home, just close the door and drive away. It doesn't get any easier. If you enjoy camping in the Eastern Sierra but don't want the hassle, Adventure and Camping is for you. Check out adventureandcamping.com for details. Make sure you mention that Rock Cod Rick sent you for a special price. adventureandcamping.com.
Haida Gwaii Safaris, formerly Queen Charlotte Safaris, invites you to experience the magic of Haida Gwaii Islands, British Columbia, Canada. Hi, I'm Valerie Hoprich. 25 years ago, I fell in love with these incredible islands. the breathtaking scenery, the warm community, and the truly phenomenal fishing. That passion inspired me to open my own fishing lodge, just steps from the Sandspit Harbor at Haida Gwaii Safaris. You will be fishing in pristine, unpressured waters for Chinook, king salmon, halibut, lingcod, and much more. Plus, be surrounded by untouched beauty. We pride ourselves on creating an unforgettable venture that turns first-time guests into lifetime friends. You will come for the fishing, and you will come back for the memories. We are booking now. Call us at 1-877-815-2892 or visit our website, qcsafaris.com. Find us on Facebook and Instagram. Haida Gwaii Safaris, where adventure and friendship meet.
KWFN and KWFN HD1 San Diego.
Hey, this is Ryan O'Hearn.
Gonna go! Ryan O'Hearn, a 2-run pinch hit homer.
The Padres play here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And Odyssey Sports Station. This program is sponsored and produced by Let's Talk Hookup. Opinions and offers expressed during this program are not those of Odyssey or 97.3 The Fan. Sometimes they tell some pretty hefty fish stories. We don't know if they're true or not.
And now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's Talk Hookup. This portion of the show is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. And by Yamaha Outboards, official motor sponsor of Let's Talk Hookup. Here we go. Another great hour of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's Talk Hookup. Here's Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, and Corey Sandin.
Welcome back. Hour number 2. Let's Talk Hookup right here on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, Facebook Live, and 97.3 The Fan. Pete Gray here, along with Rock Cod Rick Maxa in the world headquarters of Let's Talk Hookup, right next to pretty busy San Diego landings. There's boats coming. I saw Raymond from Fisherman's Process this morning getting the fish off the boats that are coming in. They're biting, and lots of good stuff. We have a great show. Talking lobster. I can't believe it's lobster season already. Brian Sanchez and Captain Pablo Fernandez. And also, if you're watching us on YouTube and Facebook, Renee's here. He's a regular, man.
Silent.
Hangs out with Phil Friedman and stuff. And it's like, he's part of the family, right?
That's right.
But anyway, having a good time here, talking fishing and talking lobsters, and giving away great prizes.
Man, you're not kidding. If you didn't hear it at the beginning of the show, $200 gift certificates for the Promar and Ahi website. Man, unless something changes, there might be 2 for the texters. We've had phones have been down this morning. A little issue in the fan, but those guys are kicking butt. And hopefully,
it's not the fan again. It's
sure.
AT&T or whoever.
I'm just proud that it's not something that I screwed up. Right? It's not on my side. I'm on the co-host seat today.
Yeah.
I'm not pushing the buttons. It wasn't any of my electronics. So I'm just stoked that it wasn't something that Rick did. That's all.
Well, lot of things going on. A lot of good stuff to talk about. I wanted to follow up, Brian. Again, you're a big surf fisherman, and and a lot of our listeners love to surf fish, and that's why we have Gundy's surf reporters, because they love to. So, give us again some of the Promar Ahi stuff that you used in the surf.
Yeah. So, the number one thing that we recommend is going to be the flash jigs, which are going to be the just like a stick jig. You're going to throw it out there and retrieve it back, and it has that swimming motion.
Yeah, but it's like kind of like a jerk bait.
No, it's imagine like very similar to like Colt snipers and stuff like that.
Okay.
You throw it out in the surf. We have them all the way down to ½ ounce.
Wow.
So you could really toss them out there and swim them in there. You get surf perch on it. You can get corvina on them.
You can probably use them freshwater, catch trout and bass.
Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of our hard metal jigs, most guys have been starting to mess around with them in the freshwater scene, and that's pretty cool. Like I had one guy out in Temecula, and he goes out to like Pyramid and stuff like that, and he was like, "Oh, I'm going to use these. I'm going to go fish trout with them and drop the Icara jigs of 15 grams down and pick up trout." But for surf fishing, the line, our GT4 line, that's super popular. It goes down to 15 pound. So I use that a lot for halibut myself, or if I'm going for leopard sharks and I use something a little bit heavier, like 25, 30 pound, I'm using also GT4 on there.
Okay.
It is something that we've considered in terms of going down in size for line sizes for surf fishing, but we haven't done it yet. So
gotcha.
And then we have our Ensenada tackle bag. So it's a little waist bag. So if you guys just want to have something on your back or put it across your chest, like it's super easy for you guys to use as well.
Oh, cool. That's cool. Good idea. You have a great text, huh?
I thought so. This is switching gears, still staying on lobster, but switching gears. Some says, "Good morning, guys. Please give me the best way to handle my lobsters once they've been on the boat. How do you prepare them? How do you prepare them for storage? How do you freeze them? And then when it comes time to eat them, whether it be fresh or frozen, can you give me your best recipes? I'm a crustacean rookie. That's from Rich in Long Beach.
I'll give my answer and then I'll let Pablo give his answer. But what I like to do, obviously, you want to have your Promar gloves. Like I said, we make everything from A to Z. We have our Pro Grip gloves, which are going to be the thicker ones. And if you guys are really scared of the spines, those are really cool because you won't really feel anything at all. And then we have our PVC grip gloves, which are going to be textured so you don't have them slipping around. You kind of want to fold the tail in, and that'll kind of get them to stop moving a lot. And then when it comes to preparing them, what I like to do is if you put them in the fridge overnight, they'll stay alive, and then they kind of slow down and it makes them easier to kill. You're just gonna, what I do is I tail them. So I'll twist the tail off on one end and I twist it on the other end and pull them off. I use one of the antennas, go through the chute and pull out the excrement or whatever. And then I vacuum seal mine individually, and to prevent them from getting through that puncturing of that seal bag, I'll just fold some paper towels under there, slide it in, and then put the tail on top and then vacuum seal. And that was actually Renee gave me that idea. And
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I've been cutting the spines off to vacuum seal, but that sounds a lot easier.
It's a lot easier.
And it probably absorbs some of the,
it absorbs a lot of that like extra moisture in there as well. So
good idea, Renee.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Much easier.
A lot easier for sure. Yeah.
Definitely.
And you got to keep them pretty too.
Yeah, I was going to say, and it looks good.
It looks good.
It looks a lot better.
One of the boys that works at the tackle store, he kicks ass on those things, and and he'll throw some like they just roll their tail into a ball and then throw it in the vacuum pack, and so all the spines then get protected in the ball, but it just doesn't look as cool.
No.
Like when you open your freezer and that thing's all fanned out, all killer, and I mean it's better looking, but the ball protects the bag, but it's just not the same.
It's not.
It looks good when you got your thing all ready to rock.
Hey, Colin has a great text here. He says, "Good morning, fellas. Great to hear Brian as a guest today. Not really a question, just a big shout out to Brian for everything he's done for our industry. From sharing expert advice with newcomers and seasoned fishermen alike to hosting clinics packed with tips and techniques, always answering questions with thought and enthusiasm. Your passion to help others succeed truly stands out. We, all of us fishermen, appreciate everything you do."
Oh,
there you go, man.
I really
and you
appreciate
do a lot.
that,
You're involved in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I try to be.
You're kind of everywhere.
Yeah, I definitely try. Thanks to Pablo, he introduced me to a lot of people, and he taught me a lot of the things that I get to share. So really, thank Pablo. So
don't thank me, man.
Well, I want to go back to Rich's question too. What about the second part? What's your guys' favorite way to once you have all your bugs? What's your favorite way to cook them up?
I smoke mine. I put mine in the smoker. I throw them in I throw them in the Traeger at about I try to keep it as low as possible, about 180, and I do it for about an hour. I get my thermometer, I check, I make sure they're up to 10.
What a trip. No kidding.
Yeah,
Okay. That's cool.
I love smoked lobster, and then I chop it up and I can either put it in some pasta or I'll eat it on its own with a steak or something like that. But
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, same. I'm stoked. Yes, that's cool.
Yeah. What about you, Pablo?
So there obviously there's a million different recipes and ways to do it. As far as backing up just a step to the preparation, I like to keep some of mine whole too, completely whole, because my dad loves them whole. He wants the heads to make stock and
right.
So I have a lot of mine that are completely whole and preserved in the vacuum seal as well. And any kind of tricks like paper plates or napkins stuff, if you want to do it that way, or you got to trim them like Pete does, trim them all up and just try to use the thicker stuff you can to seal them up, and I don't have any issues with that. But as far as making them, I'm pretty fortunate because my son is a chef.
Hey,
and so
that doesn't suck.
Yeah, and it's a big problem at home when the kids are like, "Are we seriously going to have lobster again?" Like, you're like, I'm so sorry, horrible parenting, but so anyway, it's kind of like in Forrest Gump when he's like shrimp gumbo, shrimp popcorn, shrimp, he goes down the whole list. That's kind of how I feel like during lobster season. But honestly, there's a million different ways to do it. The way that I love to do it is I'll just take either the whole lobster or the tail. And there's so much meat in the head that people don't ever acknowledge. So try it. But anyway, I'll take the whole lobster or the tail. I put it in boiling water And I usually do about 3 to 5 minutes, like per lobster or per pound. And then I like to get it to where it's almost like medium rare, right? So it's kind of like raw in the middle. And then what I do with that is I'll cut the whole thing in half and I'll saute it just lightly, just to give it a little
kind of Puerto Nuevo style.
Yeah, and you just psh, both sides just a little bit, and it browns it up nice with some really good like garlic or whatever. Less is more.
Great
less is always more.
Don't overcook your lobster.
And then
it makes it rubbery.
And it's really like for a presentation, it's super cool to have half of a full lobster.
Oh
on the
yeah,
plate,
no doubt.
And then
that sounds great.
Coupled with a little Wagyu or something, or whatever. I mean,
that sounds good.
Just lobster by itself is great too.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And that's the beautiful thing about our lobsters here in Southern California is they're one of the best tasting lobsters that there is out there.
So the highest demand.
And they're the highest demand. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and that's another reason to just go out and get Hoopin because it's so expensive to purchase them in the store. It's like $50-$60 a pound. You could just go out there and catch your lobsters yourself.
So Pablo, when you catch your lobsters, do you keep them live until you cook them?
Yes. I do, because number one, like the whole tailing them and ripping their heads off their bodies, you're only allowed to do that when you're at home, like preparing them, because otherwise, where's the carapace?
Right.
And so if you don't have the carapace, that's not a legal lobster.
Right.
There's no way to measure it or verify it. So let's just make sure nobody's tailing them at the dock, because if you come across fishing game, they're not going to be excited. Well, they'll be excited, but not in a good way.
They'll be excited with their ticket book.
So make sure you do all that when you're preparing them at home. But other than that, I do keep them alive. So a lot of times a nice trick of the trade is bring some kelp. If you find a little bit of kelp, keep it in your cooler, just the kelp down there. You don't need ice or anything. They're fine. Just keep it, keep them in there. And then my wife
keeps them moist.
Yeah. My wife's very, very favorite thing is when I put the lobsters in the crisper drawer and I don't tell her about it. and she really enjoys that in the morning when she's getting ready to go to work, and then something like scatters really, hard in the crisper drawer.
How long will they keep in like a cooler with kelp and stuff?
Couple days. I mean,
Just keep them moist.
Just keep them moist. That's all I need.
No fresh water though.
No fresh water.
Yeah, fresh water kills them.
Because that whole, osmosis thing where it'll just, suck out the life out of them. So no, you want to keep them just moist with some kelp or even some salt water rags. Anything you have is great, and just keep them in there. Put them in the crisper drawer.
Yeah, and then pop them in the boiling water and
pop them in the boiling water. And then if you want to freeze them or whatever, like a lot of times we'll actually euthanize them. I'll just take a little tuna spike or a knife and I just kind of spike them in the head, because like sometimes people are like, oh, it's screaming, or we're like, no, this one's not. He's just happy jumping in the jacuzzi. He likes to go in the hot water.
All right. Well, hey, Chris from CCA California is on the line. Good morning, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Good morning, guys. How are we?
Great. Great. A big event yesterday.
Yeah,
huh?
Congratulations on
give
a
us the
successful
details
event,
on who won the Parker boat Yamaha outboard from West Coast Marine.
Yeah, guys. Yesterday was a very great day for CCA and for fishing in general. We really are grateful for everyone's support. We have so many different sponsors that we'll continue to thank throughout the year, but ultimately a great day. We made a lot of people's days yesterday by giving off over $100,000 in prizes yesterday.
Wow. Yeah, it wasn't just the boat, right?
Yeah. So we our grand prize winner of that brand new West Coast that Parker 18 SV from West Coast Marine and the Yamaha 150 went to Mr. Scott Sawa from Torrance, California. So we are very excited for Scott. I know he could barely get a couple words out when I interviewed him minutes after the announcement, but he was a nervous wreck, but he is super stoked, guys. It's awesome.
That's so cool. Yeah. And of course, CCA California will have another star tournament starting next year, right? So stay tuned for that.
Yeah. I won't let any cats out of the bag for next year, but I think people are going to love next year's tournament already. And not to mention, we also gave away $15,000 in scholarships to our youth division yesterday as well. So a lot of good stuff happened yesterday.
That's great. Now let's talk a little bit about your partnership, CCA's partnership with Promar.
Yeah, Promar, Brian, Steve, Ben, all those guys over there have been such great partners of ours, great sponsors of ours over the years, and we're super excited to continue that partnership. They also donated, I forgot to say, they donated one of our grand prizes yesterday, a $1,200 prize pack from Promar and Ahi,
Wow.
which is fantastic. Yeah, and I'm really excited. I'm not sure if we've announced it yet, but we're really excited to partner up with Promar this year on a lobster tournament. Just think of the Star Tournament, but a lobster version of it.
Cool.
That starts on September 26th, and we're really excited about it. I've been working with Brian for the last couple months, actually the last half a year, and we're really excited about it.
So, Brian, why don't you kind of fill us in on it?
Yeah, so we have aside from ourselves putting up, a monthly grand prize of $1,000 in Promar gear. So every month from starting of the season, September 26th until December 31st, we're gonna have.
So it's just for this year.
It's just for really this year, and it's really for the first 3 months of the season, because that's
Okay.
when we notice a lot of guys tend to go hooping. Then it gets a little bit too cold for most people, and they don't go out as much. But that's going to be the most active time of the year for people, and so we're going to be having it every month from now until then. You have a chance to win $1,000 in Promar gear. There's also other sponsors as well, such as like Angle Coolers, Costa, Lucadia Knives, and a couple others off the top of my head I can't remember right now. But
It's called Ambush the Season, right?
yeah,
The
and it's
name
called
of the
the
tournament.
Ambush the Season. Yeah.
And how's it going to work?
So what you're going to want to do is download the Fishing Chaos app. It's a $25 entry. The proceeds go to CCA.
$25 entry to enter the
Yeah,
tournament.
correct.
Wow.
And it's going to go to CCA. After you get that app and you're already in, pretty much what you want to do is just take a photo of your legal size lobster and put that in on the app, and you're entered for a chance to win one of those great prizes.
Doesn't matter how big they are. It's just like every time you enter, you're entered into the contest.
Correct. It just needs to be legal size. Other than that, as long as it's within there, and then there is one extra grand prize at the end of the entire event. For the very overall longest lobster, Deckhand Sports gave in a huge prize pack of kill bags from a huge variety in range in those. So that's something
Cool.
That,
Well, it sounds like fun. So $25. How do you enter?
Just download the Fishing Chaos app. Look for Ambush the Season on there. We have QR codes. It's on our website. It's on CCA's website, ccacalifornia.org/ambush.
Yeah, and then how do you now, Chris? You need to have the CCA measuring device, right?
Yeah, so any of our measuring devices that we've ever given out in the past, so that includes for the 2024 or 2025 Star Tournament, or the 2024 or 2025 Bay Bass Classic that we've given out. Any of those measuring devices work. If you do not have any of those, make sure to contact us. We can get you one. And people can contact us through the Fishing Chaos app directly. There's a chat feature right there, and then you just hit us up with your mailing address, and we will send one out to you.
So Fishing Chaos app is free download, right?
Yes.
But then, and you can actually enter the tournament right on the app?
Yeah, so the tournament is going to be paid for and everything through that app.
Through that app,
Yeah,
okay.
as long as you have a CCA membership.
And you have to put your membership number in?
I believe so, right, Chris?
I don't think it allows that, but we can certainly, we definitely encourage everyone to become a CCA member, but this is a great way to participate in CCA, and all the proceeds, as Brian mentioned, go directly towards fighting for your right to fish here in California.
Yeah. So all the proceeds from that $25 goes right to CCA.
Correct. Yeah.
Wow.
And so we're putting up
Fantastic.
prizes and tons of prizes, a lot of opportunity to win in this as well.
All right. Chris Adrechadera, thanks very much for your hard work and all the different projects CCA is involved in, and appreciate what you're doing there. And let's go ambush the season.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks for
Chris.
joining us this morning. Appreciate that very much.
All right. I had another great text come through. This one says, one, I just wanted to read this one because it added to our fishing. And congratulations to the caller who did not leave his phone number, but says, just got off on my way home from the Oceanside 95, had limits of bluefin, bunch of big bonita, and several nice yellows, all anchored up on the Cortez from a day and a half trip. So yeah, great to hear such good fishing still in the mix. But the text I wanted to read question wise was, back up. A question for the boys. Do you guys feel that spiny lobster migrate in and out of the bay? The bugs that are in the harbor, do you feel like they stay in that same location? Are coastal lobsters any different? And that's all from James in San Diego.
Coastal lobsters, I'm assuming he means
Just
outside of the
bay, I'm
harbor.
thinking,
Yeah. They tend to stay in their certain areas, but remember, these things are creeping and crawling, and they move, hundreds of yards, if not thousands of yards. They'll be creeping and crawling all around. The more like we talked about earlier, that the water is disturbed or the visibility in the water is poor, they're going to move more and more. I don't think they technically migrate, like, let's say from Cabo to here, obviously, right. But like in and out of the harbor, yeah, they're in and out of the channel, they're all around outside. Anywhere there's shelter, they're gonna check it out, because these guys, they're scavengers and they're moving around, and what drives them is breeding and feeding, right? So around those times is when you're going to get the most of them. But I would say inside the harbor, like Captain Dave Hansen says a lot, saltwater guide. He says commercial lobster fishermen would give their right arm to fish inside of the harbor because there's so many rocks and jetties and objects and structures, and it's off limits. It's only for the recreational or, the sport fishing guys inside the harbors. And man, inside the harbors produces, and even when the waves are super big or anything like that, you can whack them really good inside the harbor. And outside, it's the same thing. I take into account the surf, the tides, everything, the weather conditions, and that'll dictate where I go inside and out. But I think they're everywhere. They're bugs.
That's cool. That's a great answer.
Captain Brian Kiyahara is a professional lobster fisherman, of course, too. Said on this show, he said if he could fish in the harbor, he'd own every house on Point Loma.
Right? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but he also said too that those lobsters in the bay migrate in and out.
Right.
He says they like you said, they move a lot.
Yeah.
So just because you think, well, I don't want to eat those lobsters that are sitting, eating all that Navy sludge in there and stuff like that.
Oh,
no, they're
happy.
These lobsters are back and forth.
Yeah,
they're all over the
anywhere.
place. Yeah. They're very, very, very happy. Well, let's find out what's biting out there.
You got it, man. It's time for our fishdope.com report with the Anglers Realtor. Today, that catch report is sponsored by the Fish Pros at Fisherman's Processing in San Diego, where you get the premier processing experience. Check out the easier online system to book your processing for your long-range trips. With more team members, Fisherman's Processing stays far ahead of the rest. More same-day capacity, the finest in customer service. You can stop by their location in Old Town on Taylor Street or check fishermansprocessing.com. Be sure you make your reservation today. I got to say it again. I talked about it a couple weeks ago. I sent some fish back to Idaho to a bud, to our buddy Bill. And, man, you want to talk about easy. They just handle everything. Box, everything. I mean, literally, I had a bud come off a long-range trip, dropped the fish off with the girls at Fisherman's Processing. It was cut the way we wanted, in a shipping box, shipped to his door, next day delivery. I mean, it was perfect.
Bill Dupree's pretty stoked.
Yeah. A little fresh tuna wahoo.
Yeah,
from,
in Idaho.
That's the only departure is not a lot of fresh tuna from back in Idaho.
Yeah,
but yeah,
a lot of bass and trout, but not a lot of tuna.
You just wouldn't believe how easy they make it for you. I mean, it was literally here's my bud's address. Here it goes. Like the next morning, okay, everything's shipped off. Here's the tracking number. He should expect it that day. Just nothing. I mean, it was killer. They did such a good job.
So they'll do that for you if you want to send some to treat a friend back east or up north or whatever.
Yeah, or if you just you want to get on the road or you're flying home, it was crazy how easy the process was. And they'll do whatever you prefer. Like they can ship air cargo, which is a lot lesser expensive than shipping like FedEx next day air. So if you got a lot of fish and a lot of weight for your long range trip, they'll ship it back to you where you just then go to the airport and pick it up as cargo for like half of the price. Or if you're just you want to pay for the convenience of it, it's FedEx to your door the next morning. Pretty killer. They did a great job.
Great. Hey, good morning, Joseph.
Good morning, guys. How we doing today?
Doing great. How's it fishing?
Oh, it's still hanging in there. It's slowing down a little bit. Up north, Santa Rosa, the sea bass and halibut are still biting. The weather's been crazy up there, though, so they're fighting it to get in there and get those fish. San Nicolas, dirty and cold. There's not a lot happening there. This cold water has kind of rolled in, shutting it down up there a little bit. Catalina, though, is doing very well. Still great fishing on the front side for the 3Bs. Danny had said if he was going anywhere, he'd go to Catalina and he'd use 12-pound test with anchovies. And you can crush just about anything with those. Calico bass fishing is still full speed. Lots of low barracuda, bonito. There still are some smaller yellowtail on the front as well. The backside yellowtail and sea bass game has kind of vanished. Over to San Clemente, the caves are biting at night really well. These are bigger model yellowtail, 20 to 30 pounds. It's only a night bite. They kind of vanish during the day. Down to La Jolla, the yellowtail have dried up a little bit, but everything else is definitely biting. I was out there yesterday. We caught all kinds of La Jolla critters. Just didn't get into any yellowtail or really even see any sign of them. They never came up or anything. The rock fishing down south of there, Point Loma around the Whistler Buoy has been really good. Lots of whitefish and a few lingcod. Scope and bite down on the IB Pier remains steady. The IB Pipe. Coronados have slowed up as well quite a bit. You kind of need a lot of bait, like a party boat, to get them up and moving and biting. Danny told me this morning, he's like, all the dumb ones have been caught. So a little harder for the private boater in there. Out to offshore, the tune's still going good. Up north there a little bit from us on west end of Cat over to the Osborne and just west of San Clemente. There's tonnage of fish over there. A lot of the fish that have moved in are smaller, 5 to 20 pounds. There are some bigger fish groups around. The bigger ones are like 40 to 80s for the most part. The super large models are few and far between now. There still are some guys getting them on the kite. Spreader bars in this area are super effective. Guys are getting most of their fish on spreader bars. Out to the Cortez, we haven't heard that in a long time. You don't hear much about the Cortez, but it's biting. There's 20 to 50 pound bluefin out there. And occasionally the larger yellowtail, the guys are anchoring up on the spot and just kind of waiting for them. Yellowfin is drying up a little bit. We've all the dirty water that was down there by the rock pile, we were fishing that line, has moved out to the west now. And Danny says it's kind of like a block for the yellowfin. That yellowfin fishing was good in the 390 area. All that stuff has moved out towards the 238, like dead west of Ensenada. It's still pretty good down there, but it is drying up a little. And that's all I got for you today, guys.
All right, what's going on in the real estate world?
Real estate world's moving, man. There's more and more speculation over these rates changing, here in the next couple of weeks. And like I said last week, we're getting applications and like crazy. You're going to see a lot of movement with people listing their houses soon, I think, as well. I think a lot of people are just waiting until the market is turned the right direction and we kind of get out of this buyer's market.
Yeah, for sure. What about nature-fed beef, man? Do you have any quarters left?
I have 3 quarters right now from a shipment we just got in last week. Anybody who wants it, give me a shout on my cell phone, 619-277-2169, or you can go right online to naturefedbeef.com and order them. We'll deliver to your home within a week.
Yeah. Carne asada's killer, bro. You guys killed it. It's really good, man. Thanks.
Everything
again.
about that nature-fed beef. It's amazing. I had one of the New York steaks. Oh my gosh,
yeah, it's really
it doesn't even taste like a New York steak. It's unbelievable. Yeah, it is. It is good. Hey, Yosef, how do we find you for the real estate too?
You can get me on my cell phone at 619-277-2169. Find me online at sportsmansrealty.com. If you want a free home evaluation, you can go to SoCalHomeEval.com and we'll kick you out an online evaluation right away.
Thanks, Yosef. We'll talk to you next Sunday.
Take care, guys.
All right. Appreciate that very much. You have a good text.
I thought so. It says, hey, good morning, guys. I'm looking to buy my first full set of hoops to fish lobsters on my kayak this season. I've heard great things about them. I was curious if you could tell me what sets Promar apart from some of the other hoops that are on the market. Thanks. See you on the water. It's from Corey and Escondido.
Yeah, that's a great question, actually. This is something that I always like to tell people is when you're getting Promar gear, you're getting a warranty and you're getting a brand that stands behind their product. So I actually handle a lot of those warranties. I vet them and stuff like that, and we're super lenient with them. And we always tell people and we encourage people, if you ever have a product or problem with our products, reach out to us, give us a call. You'll talk directly to me, or you'll talk to my my helper. His name is Jesse, and we'll take care of you. So that's one thing to look at, especially when you're dropping these things in salt water and you're going through them. And we offer, like I said, the warranty. We offer everything from A to Z, and we offer the resources, and that really is what sets it apart, right? And there's a couple other brands out there, or people who make them in the garage and stuff. And so to that I say, it's just when you buy those products, you're not getting the brand behind it,
right?
And the help and the assistance and everything else that we offer alongside that.
The other thing is just the decades now of just progressing better and better and better. When it was the first thing, there was flat laying hoops that had that either had nothing or a little teeny bridle, and you had to figure out how to rig your own floats. And like everything from Promar, like the gear is big, it's all heavy duty, the bridle floats included. Like there's just been decades of innovation, and like every year they just seem to get better and better and better.
Yeah, and like you said, we've had so much time in dialing them in and making sure that our steel is the right steel to really handle the wear and tear, dropping them on the rocks and all of that stuff. We've looked at some of the other brands, and we look at some of the other ones that they're out there, and it's just the nets are a little too long, or maybe the nets are a little bit too thick, and it makes a difference in terms of like drag in the water. And these are things that we really, really spend a lot of time honing in and perfecting. So when you're getting a Promar hoop net, you're getting years of innovation and studies. I fish, Steve fishes, Ben fishes, Jesse fishes.
You guys are hardcore lobster guys, and like for the improvement on the sea line bait cages,
little things.
They're called seal cages, Pete.
Yeah, I know.
We're gonna mend it.
They're called sea line cages. Yeah,
we're gonna mend it with Promar. We're gonna say California sea line.
Proof cages, because they truly are. I mean, if you put them back together, that sea line's not going to mess.
Do your best.
And that's the other thing is you see some people who are like, oh, I could 3D print this. Yeah, a 3D printer is not going to hold up to a sea lion bite. That thing is putting.
If you've seen what those things when the original cages came out, and it was like, okay, well, this is it.
Crush.
And then when you see what they can do to a cage, like good luck. No. Good luck 3D printing that. Good luck 3D printing that and finding a way to do it lesser expensive than. That's the other thing that blows me away about the seal proof bait cages is they're I mean, you go buy all those parts and pieces at Home Depot and then factor in your time to drill the holes, run the wire, buy the clip. Like, I don't know how you do it for the price you do. Like, there's no way you're touching it. I mean, can you garage fab it for a couple of dollars less? Sure. But you're going to have an entire weekend into building something that's even half as close when there's a proven product and the clips aren't going to be as good. The size is perfect. Like, just everything about those is right.
Now, follow up on the same line here. Matt in LA has a question. He says, talk about the replacement nets for the hoop nets.
Yeah, actually, that's
falls right into what you were talking about, the backup there. I had no idea you could replace the net.
So this is something that we have been kind of working on the back end. We've seen people purchase them and use them, and so we started getting the idea. Really, well, let's take a look. Let's see, why are people using these? So we started to replace some nets on there, and so that's going to be the model number RN-730. That model number is going to be able to use on the smaller size 32 inch as well as the larger size 36 inch. And it's like putting a sock on. You're putting a sock on top of your netting. I always recommend people leave your original netting on. It's going to create more drag, but it keeps that ring, right? Because the ring is stitched in, right? And if you're handy enough, it's really just zip ties. You just put it on over and you put new netting, and now you have these hoops,
because they can get some holes in it.
Whatever. You had a sculpin in one way that you just had
Pablo's
to
going,
to cut some. That's a great call. I didn't know that was a thing.
So replacement netting, if you guys have any issues with your hoop nets, instead of going out and obviously I'm going to tell you guys go out and buy hoop nets, but at the end of the day, you need to save some money, and especially in this economy, sometimes you have to do that.
Replace the nets.
Replace the nets.
That's a great call.
$20. And you can get that on the Promar Ahi website.
You can get that on the Promar Ahi website. We're trying to get more retail partners.
Into the detailers,
we're trying to get a lot more retail partners on that, but that's something that we're going to work with.
I think we need to have Brian come over to my my yard and demonstrate how to use those who prepares replacement nets. Do you guys think that's a good idea?
I love it.
I have a stack that need to be done.
Yeah.
And I don't know why he hasn't come over. And
There you
fixed
go.
it.
Yeah, come on, man.
Hey, when we come back, we got more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. We're going to check in with Bud Conway Bowman, talk some Cast Hope, have a lot of fun. You stay tuned. More Let's Talk Hookup, more of this great Promar Lobster Talk. You got Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook and YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
This is Pete Gray to tell you about my fishing buddy, Dan Hume, and his amazing company, Hume Termite. As you know, Southern California is infested with termites. It's a constant battle for anyone who owns a home, and that's where Hume Termite come in. They're strictly termite experts. They start with a thorough inspection to find out why you have termites in the first place, then recommend sustainable treatment options that work. Hume Termite has been controlling my termites for years, and I have recommended them to numerous friends. Did you know 99% of termite companies are commission-based? Not Hume Termite. They're all salaried employees, and with a thorough inspection, they'll help you solve your termite problems, not sell you something you don't need. Let Dan and his crew earn your business through customer service and trust. It's swarming season, and now is the time to call Hume Termite at 760-598-2201. They'll come out and give you honest answers to solve your termite issues. Check HumeTermite.com.
A top fleet and superb fishing is what Seaforth Sport Fishing in Mission Bay is all about. With free parking and fully stocked tackle shop, it's no wonder Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Apollo, Outer Limit, El Gato Dos, Pride, Tribute Pacifica, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth, Sea-Watch, and San Diego offer the finest half and full day trips available. Seaforth Sport Fishing. For charters or regular open party schedule, check seaforthlanding.com. Run by fishermen for fishermen in Mission Bay.
One rod has set the standard for serious saltwater anglers worldwide, and that's CalStar. From the rugged dependability of the West Coast Series, the lightweight strength of the Graphiter, or the performance of the GG Series, all CalStar rods are handmade right here in Southern California of the finest materials and craftsmanship. Check out the new CalStar models now available, as well as upgrades to the classic rods that you know and love. If you want your tackle to be state-of-the-art tools to get the job done right, it's CalStar at fine tackle dealers.
Captain Jamie Tennis from Season Sport Fishing here. For the past few seasons, a dart-styled metal jig has come into play in a big way for tuna offshore or even rockfish down deep. AFCO's crossbreed jig has quickly become the go-to for many since it came onto the market. AFCO's crossbreed jig is good to go right out of the package with a 4X treble hook, heavy-duty split rings, West Coast colors, and sizes 60 gram to 120 gram. Pick one up today at your local tackle store or learn more on afco.com.
Take a closer look at the Ford F-150. You'll see hard work, a great adventure, and so much more. Inside and out, it's designed for the family, the road trip, and the most demanding job. The 2025 Ford F-150, whether it's gas, hybrid, or the all-electric Lightning, find the truck that will meet your needs. From California's best-selling truck brand, the 2025 Super Duty, the rugged Ford Ranger, and the versatile Ford Maverick, it's time to see Ford in a new light. Visit your San Diego County Ford dealer today to see the great selection across the full truck lineup.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here with the gang from Promar, talking lobster, having fun. What's a great show today.
Yeah, and don't forget, Rada Week from Rollo is on. It started yesterday, and Tim is standing by his phones. You have a chance to win 12 different custom-made rods that starts November 6th. And the tickets are only $25. You get one free and when you buy four, so you buy $100 worth, you get one free. So you get a total of 5, and you get an entry into win Carl Newell's personal rod and reel, a piece of history, basically, to own a Newell reel along with Carl Newell's rod. You get a chance for every $100 you buy, you get one entry in there. Tim's standing by the phone right now. If you want to buy tickets, 951-264-7382, 951-264-7382, or win at RolloKids.com. Just send Tim an email. He'll call you back. And if you just hit win at RolloKids.com, he'll call you back and get you set up on tickets. And again, all of the money raised goes to taking kids fishing. And speaking of taking kids fishing and doing good things for kids, Conway Bowman's on the line. Good morning, Conway.
Hey guys, how are you? Great to talk to you today.
Yeah, great to talk to you. So tell us about this Cast Hope Cornhole Tournament.
Hey.
Yes, so we're doing our annual cornhole fundraiser tournament at AleSmith this coming Saturday, September 20th, from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. And last year it was a gas. It was such a great event. A lot of people showed up, played cornhole, and we have great auction prizes this year from Taylor Guitars, Traeger Grills. Yeti really stepped up to the plate this year with lots of great items for raffle as well as auction. And there's even a payout for the first 3 placings, first, second, and third. So great food, great beer at AleSmith, and that's where we're holding it. And it's going to be a great event.
How fun.
So where is AleSmith?
AleSmith is in Mira Mesa, off AleSmith. I think it's AleSmith Way, and it's the famous AleSmith Brewery. So yeah,
it's right
there.
at
It's
the
in
brewery,
back room.
right? Yeah,
it's right at the brewery. They've got a great back room there that we've held our event in the last year. It's going to be great.
Yeah, that's so cool. And so tell us about Cast Hope and the money raised. Where does it go?
So Cast Hope, we take marginalized kids, marginalized community kids, and we teach them how to fish. We teach them how to fly fish, conventional fish, but we also have sort of an environmental component to it, to the program. We get them out in nature, basically. So, and I always say, fishing is the key that opens the door to greater opportunity for these kids. I was lucky. My father took me fishing as a kid every chance he got. And many of the kids in our program, whether they're from, an inner city community, whether they're from a military family, a safety service family, a lot of those kids don't get great opportunities because typically they're in households with one parent, or the other parent is working a full-time job. So we take the kids out with a mentor. They have to have a mentor. We pay for everything. So if they want a day on the water, we have guides, we have boats, we provide all the tackle. And if the kids stay in the program for 1 year, we provide everything for them if they want to continue to fish. So rods, reels, they even need a kayak, we'll buy that for them. So that's where the funds go. And we really want kids and their mentors to stay on the water and engage not only in fishing, but just in nature itself.
That's awesome.
It's such a great. So again, the event, the cornhole tournament at AleSmith, super cool spot up in Mira Mesa, San Diego area. It's on the 20th, you said. And how do we get in on it?
September 20th. Go to casthope.org and you can register right there. So go to casthope.org, go to the events page, and then you'll see it right there. The San Diego Cornhole Tournament. Register and come on out and support some great kids and a great program.
Yeah, sounds great. And I would imagine there's a little bit of beer drinking going to be done there.
Just a little bit. Yeah. Oh yeah. Just a little bit.
Sample
one or two.
Yeah.
Can't play cornhole without having a sample.
Good beer. Yeah. Hey, Conway, keep up the great work with Cast Hope and have fun at that cornhole tournament. Sounds like a great time.
All right, guys. Thanks for the support. I appreciate it.
You bet, man. You bet.
Had another great text come through. It says, "Good morning, guys. I've got a question for you. I'm curious about the amount of hoop nets I can have on the boat. I know that there's a limit that you're allowed to fish with. Do you know if I can have a spare on the boat in case we have an issue with losing one getting drifted away, if all the tags are on it and it's obviously not been fishing?" And that was from Steve in San Diego.
No.
10 is 10 is 10.
10 is 10.
Or 5.
Yeah,
if you're by
5
yourself.
if you're by yourself, and if you have another person on board, then you're allowed up to 10. No spares, no replacements, but this is why it's good to have some of those replacement nets, because if you drop it down, I know a lot of times people are going down there and they drop it into a rocky area, they pull it up and it has a hole and they're patching it with zip ties. But just
good idea
easy.
with the nets.
Yeah, just slide it. Like I said, it's like a sock. You just put it on top, zip tie it to the top, and you're set to go.
And what if you have 3 people on the boat?
You're still only allowed 10.
10
maximum
max,
amount
maximum
of 10 per vessel.
10 and that's absolute. If they stop you and you have 11 hoop nets on the boat, like what if you snag one and you catch one, bring it in the boat, you have 11 on the boat, fishing game stops you, it's citation.
It's a citation. They're not going to listen. They're super tough, like you guys mentioned. They're very, very tough when it comes to lobster season.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
10 is 10.
10
no
is
matter
10.
What.
Hey, speaking of lobster and great fresh fish, let's talk about Point Loma Seafoods for a second. Right next to the San Diego landings. One of the things, Lolly's been out of town for a while, and I'm kind of tired of cooking for myself. So I went over to Point Loma Seafoods the other afternoon and picked up a whole array of fresh sushi. and took it home and had like the sushi magnificent dinner that was extraordinary. It was all prepared. I didn't have to do anything but just eat it.
That's
And
so
I didn't have to
rad.
prepare it. But that's just one of the hidden secrets about Point Loma Seafood is their fantastic sushi chef.
They've been doing a really good job on their social media lately, and they posted up some a picture of some fresh San Diego local. They just called it sashimi grade halibut. I've never seen a piece of halibut that looked so good in the case before. It was just
Yeah.
like everything those guys is so good. Like, you know, they hand pick their fish that goes into the case, you know, whether it be from the fisherman or from the market or wherever it is. Like, everything they pick for that case is done right. And then obviously the menu stuff is just what more can you say? It's Point Loma Seafoods.
Yeah, Point Loma Seafoods, of course. My favorite crab cake sandwich. Love this crab cake sandwich, and just an array of great fresh fish, fresh lunch, dinner, whatever it may be. Fresh sushi. Take some home for tonight. They had fresh swordfish the other day.
The other
at that
thing
time
too,
of the year.
you know, we get so many people that are coming down that are jumping on a boat at Fisherman's Landing, and they always say the same thing from out of town. Oh, where do I go to eat? Like, there's no question in the afternoon. They've got such that killer, the upstairs, you know, seating area.
Yep.
You go get your
view.
calamari sandwich, you get a cold beer, and you get to sit up top, and it overlooks the entire basin of all three landings.
Yeah.
You can see the whole fleet moving around. It's the spot, man.
Yeah, Point Loma Seafoods, right next to the San Diego landings in Point Loma.
All right. Had another great text, says, good morning, guys. What a fun show. Quick question. What is the deepest you guys ever hoop for lobsters? And how does hooping deep pose challenges as opposed to shallow?
That's a good question, huh?
Well, you better be really, really strong if you're going to be dropping it pretty deep. And you not get tired too quick. I have personally myself, I don't hoop anything deeper than like 70, 80 feet. That's the furthest that I've ever really gone. And we've had success there. I've heard of people going down to 120 feet, 100 feet. At that point, you're going to want a puller, or at least somebody young.
Ace line hauler.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one. Pablo, what about you? How deep do you go?
Yeah, typically, I mean, obviously Mission Bay is very shallow and the surrounding areas are pretty shallow. So I usually keep it under 50 feet, like usually more like 30 feet or even 10 to 15 feet, if you can believe that. But yeah, the deepest I've gone is like a couple 100 feet.
Yeah.
And typically, like Brian said, you're going to want a puller or a good deckhand because
a young deckhand.
a young deckhand. yeah, because that's no joke. And that's when we're going to be using the double ringed, the larger Promar ahi hoop nets, because those things are going to get down there and they're going to stick, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise,
there's a lot of drag on 200 feet of rope.
Yeah. And you guys know how it works. You know, you drop down and that thing's way behind you already, even with almost no drift, right? So we try to do our best to get it down as quick as we can and all that. But
Catalina, right, Renee?
That's
Catalina
right.
is deep.
Yeah.
I've hooped as deep as 170 feet at
Yeah.
Catalina.
And they're there.
And they're there. Yeah. But
yeah,
you got to have a lot. You got to have a heavy hoop, and you got to have a good young guy to pull the hoop.
Yeah,
or an ace line hauler.
That's
in addition
right.
to that, right.
And then the other benefit to it is if you do tend to hoop deeper, a lot of people don't do that, so they're kind of untouched.
Yeah.
So because if you have those pullers or you have somebody young, I recommend it. Try it out
for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, Joseph wanted me to be sure to mention, because he forgot to mention, that if you do want some of his nature-fed beef, which is it's phenomenal stuff. I will go down the bet. Naturefedbeef.com. If you use the code Hookup, you get $250 off.
Oh, wow.
So you can buy a quarter, get $250 off, and just use the code Hookup when you check out, and you get $250 off. Naturefedbeef.com.
No doubt about it. All right, had another great text coming through. Says, good morning, guys. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit more about the bait and bait prep. I know that you said you like fresh bait. Can you give us a list of what your favorite baits are? Whether you catch it, whether you buy it, how do you chop it? I just love to hear everything bait. What do you feel about anchovies? That's all from John.
Oh, that's a good question.
So any bait is good bait, right? And mackerel, I would say, is probably really good. Sardines are really good. And guess what? Anchovies are great. The trick with the anchovies, depending on the size of them, they don't hold up as well if you chop them up too much. So you don't want to make like a slurry or a paste or make them too mushy. You really want to chunk those up. Even if you have time, if you're out there scouting around and getting everything set up, ready to go, you could even just give them slices down the middle of them or whatever and keep them as whole as possible, because even with our California sea lion proof bait cages, they could end up wiggling their way out, or just coming out of the holes in those bait cages. And so with those, I tend to keep them a lot more whole, if not just cut. And then as you go up the food chain, sardines, we chunk them up a little bit, and then mackerel, you would definitely chunk them up pretty good. But to me, it's just a nice chunky consistency. And you just don't want too mushy. If it's
you don't
too
want
mushy,
paste.
you don't want paste, or it's just going to be gone. It'll work, but it's not going to last.
Yeah. And you always want to have plenty. The one thing I always tell people is have plenty of bait on board, because sand fleas, those things are going to chew through your bait faster than the lobster will, faster than anything, and they go through your bait really quick.
We have several more sea lion proof containers than we do.
We got them.
nets.
We got them.
Just because you can reload that thing, and it's just clip, and it goes right in. And then you can, when the dust is settled, you can then reload those things. But again, the Promar system, like those clips are so fast.
Yeah,
on and off.
15 of them instead of 10 of them.
Exactly.
Correct.
And you have 5 that are just loaded and ready to go. And then you can easily reset those, but it just makes it faster.
It makes it faster. Like we were mentioning earlier, when they are crawling, they are crawling. You don't want to be wasting 5 minutes. Oh, get it unclipped, and then let's unscrew it, and take out the bait and put new bait in, and you just want to be super fast. So having extra bait cages is super,
especially if they're crawling.
Yeah,
right, Pablo.
Yeah, the bait cages have extra ones, and I always have bait ready to go, or I'll keep it in my live well or something like that. That way, when we prepare it, it's ready to go. But once we start going through our bait, then we'll start preparing the second bucket. So it's just slop it in, get it right back out.
You talked about chopping it. Are you just chopping by hand with a knife? Like, are you grabbing them, cutting them into chunks, or do you have some sort of a handheld chopper?
So there's all kinds of homemade devices, but
garage fab chop system.
I do have a couple of those, and then like the anchovies, like something like that, you don't want to chop them up too much, right? Because they're more delicate. We know that they're a lot more delicate than the other species of bait, but yeah, I just use any kind of good chopping device to make it happen. And anything you can use your knife, but that's a little, cumbersome to try to pin down a bunch of sardines and cut them all up. It takes a long time.
I'll tell you that if you use like a full big 6-foot handled, like blade style chopper, and you use really crummy, crappy, cheap buckets like I do, you will go through that bucket way faster than you think.
Put a piece of wood at the bottom.
That's a really good tip.
Piece of wood or marine lumber,
something like that. But just a regular like hoe that you'd use, like a straight bladed hoe that you'd use in the garden, sharpen it up a little bit. Makes a great chopper.
Yeah, I mean, me and Renee, what we do is we actually just have a straight black PVC pipe. Yeah, and that's what we do. Just slam it right into the bucket.
I have a copper pipe,
black PVC pipe.
Yeah,
sharpen it at the end.
No, we've never done anything. We just use it, and you're using a lot of force, but at the end of the day, you're getting the job done. You can fill the bucket up.
That's the half-day bait sardine chud tool for the last 30 years.
Yeah,
good.
I got a copper pipe that I use.
Okay, just
multi-purpose. It's a multi-purpose tool.
There you go.
The copper pipe might be better. The weight helps it go down. The PVC is a little
that's
bit
a
light,
good idea. Hey, Daniel in Santa Barbara has a question for the Promar Ahi crew. How do you like to rig your hoop nets? Floating main line or sinking line? Number of floats, etc.
Okay, that's a great question.
Yes,
I have. This is actually a video that I'm working on right now, so I'll explain it, and then you guys could watch it on YouTube or our resource page later down this week. I have the base of the hoop net at the bottom, right? And then that already comes with the bridle with the float on there, so you don't need to do anything there. Obviously, the seal-proof bait cage in there, and you're going to have your line rigged up. So what I do is I actually have them rigged up. So what me and Renee do is we have them rigged up to about 75 feet of line, and we sell those line already pre-cut and everything through Promar. If you're going to get in longer lengths, you can. And then it's going to go all the way to the buoy. You want to have the pointed end outward, and you want to have the flat side towards the net itself.
Okay.
So the pointed side is always going to be towards the net, and then you're going to have the flat side outward. We sell a weighted clip-on kind of thing.
I use those. It's like a long line clip.
Yeah,
exactly.
Correct. And you want to have that clipped on towards the end so that your line is always going to stay vertical,
and you don't run it over.
And you don't run it over. And that's the most important thing is not only for yourself when you're backing up into your buoys and trying to pull them up, but also for other boaters. If they're passing by you and they don't want to hit your buoy and they move 10 feet off to the left, but your line is floating.
Yeah.
They're running that over.
They're running it over.
And you're making a
You're
bad
gonna
night
lose
for
it all.
Yeah, you're losing your hoop net, so you're losing, money, and then they're in a pickle now too.
Yeah.
And it's just
No, those clip-on weights rather than fast. Those work really well.
Yeah,
That was a great innovation. What about lead line? I mean, some people use lead line.
Some people use them. I'll actually let
I
Pablo
use
talk
it.
about
Yeah,
it.
I,
He
I-
uses
Okay.
it. Yeah.
I like it, and it's a Promar Ahi product as well. And
Oh, it
comes-
is?
It comes in a big spool. Is how I buy it because
Yeah.
I have a lot of it. But I really like that because you can use a weight with it if you want, or you don't really
you don't
have
need to.
You don't need to.
'Cause
And
it
what's really nice about that is it's a little bit thicker. It's a little bit more stiff, so it's easier to pull. And and it's just great line. I mean,
Okay.
I just
and that's
switched to that.
available on the Promar Ahi website.
Promar Ahi website.
Man, what a great show this has been.
Yeah.
We could use another 2 hours. Lots of lobster talk, lots of fun. We're going to find out there's 2 text winners, each going to get a $100 gift card to the Promar and Ahi website. We got more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way as we wrap things up. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California sport fishing voice on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook and YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
Yeah, I just switched to it.
Hello, Let's Talk Hookup listeners. This is Tim with Friends of Rollo, and we were gearing up for our annual Rod Week promotion. This year highlights a fantastic selection of rods that will be given away every Thursday starting November 6th. All of these rods can be seen on the Rollo website at rollokids.org. Tickets are $25 each, and if you buy 4, we will give you one free. When you buy 4, you will also be entered into a drawing to win one of Carl Newell's personal rods and Newell reel. Carl Newell was a pioneer in the fishing industry, and what better way to have a chance to own a piece of fishing history? To purchase tickets, call Tim at 951-264-7382 or email win@rollokids.org. Please leave your name and number, and I will get back to you. Thank you for making it possible for Friends of Rollo to take over 150,000 kids fishing. Your support is greatly appreciated.
Hi, this is Captain Ray Lopez, owner-operator of the American Angler. I've spent more than half my life aboard the American Angler along with my partners Brian and Lori, developing a team that's as good as it gets. I've been fortunate to spend time on the ocean with so many fine people that I look forward to fishing with. We can't thank you enough for being part of the American Angler family, and if you haven't joined us, we love the opportunity to meet you. Text or call Lori at 619-223-5414 or check AmericanAnglerSportFishing.com.
For your next fishing adventure, check Point Loma Sport Fishing. They offer half-day and full-day trips daily, perfect for families and the novice or seasoned fishermen. Point Loma Sport Fishing also offers overnight to multi-day trips, targeting the best of seasonal catches. Visit PointLomaSportFishing.com, where you can purchase tickets online and get more information on the trips available, or call 619-223-1627. Want to go fishing? Point Loma Sport Fishing has you covered.
Hi, my name is Chris Webb, and I'm one of the owners of Nature Fed Beef Company. We started Nature Fed to bring families the highest quality beef that you can get in Southern California. Did you know when you buy ground beef at the store, it can contain hundreds, if not thousands, of different cows? All our cows are pasture raised and pasture finished. They roam and graze on green grass miles away from any freeways, assuring low levels of cortisol and some of the best meat quality that you can get. These animals are raised in God's country in the Klamath Basin and just outside of Corning, California. We sell our cow shares in quarters, half, and full cows. This gives you a cut from every piece of the cow, and all the meat you buy comes from the same cow. We deliver it right to your door, packaged and ready for your freezer. Let's Talk Hookup listeners can enjoy $250 off any beef order with the code Hookup. Give us a call at 619-324-3555 to order, or visit naturefedbeef.com. $250 off any beef order with the code Hookup. Visit naturefedbeef.com.
Looking for the ultimate Alaska fishing experience and the best value in Alaska? Look no further than Kingfisher Charters in Sitka, Alaska. A trip to Kingfisher includes everything you need to make your experience legendary. The finest fishing fleet in Sitka with the best captains, deluxe accommodations, gourmet food, world-class fish processing, and the best part, it's all included for one amazing price. Kingfisher is Let's Talk Hookup's most popular destination. Hundreds of listeners have experienced Kingfisher charters, and most go back again and again. You have probably heard a lot of big promises from other Alaska lodges, only to find there were lots of hidden charges. Not Kingfisher. Everything is included. 10-hour fishing days, your license, fish processing, super deluxe accommodations, amazing food, airport transfers, and fishing gear. All you bring is your layer clothing, and Kingfisher covers the rest. Kingfisher Charters, your Alaska fishing destination. 800-727-6136 or check kingfishercharters.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Okay, no need to flip the prize coin today because it was all texters and a really fun one today. So we're going to have 2 text winners today, each winning a $100 gift card to the Promar and Ahi website. Congratulations go to Colin in San Diego and to Corey in Escondido. Congratulations, you guys. You're going to have fun. Little $100 shopping spree.
Yeah. Brian's going to get a hold of you and get a $100 shopping spree at Promar. And I just got a text from Mike Toddard from the Searcher. Libbets of tuna again last night and better weather.
It is biting.
So,
That's awesome news.
He's on a 3-day trip on the Searcher, and thanks, Mike, for that thing. If somebody wants more information on Promar, how do we do it?
Okay, so this is a great question. We encourage people to call in. Always, please call into our office. I'm going to get that number for you, but also check out our Lobster resource page. So that's going to be on the homepage right now. When you guys go on there, the first banner is going to be regarding Lobster. Go ahead, check it out. And it's going to have tons of videos on there. Our social media, we're always putting out new videos. It's going to be at Promar Ahi on Instagram, Facebook, and all that stuff.
And then, Pablo, how do we get a charter with you?
Oh, just call me at 619-431-3070 or check me out at FernandezCharters.com or Fernandez Charters on Instagram and Fernandez Charters on Facebook.
Great. Hey, thanks. Next Saturday, Eric Corden, Craig Heber from Department of Fish and Wildlife. Next Sunday, Brian Wynn, the jigging expert, is going to be here. Thanks for listening today. We'll see you next week right back here on The Fan.
KWFN and KWFN HD1 San Diego.
Tony Gwynn Jr. here. Don't worry about missing Padres news. We'll update you on the latest on your way home. Gwynn and Chris, weekdays from 2 to 6 p.m. on 97.3 The Fan.
An Odyssey Sports Station.